There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fall angel just walked by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul.
One, two, three, jump!
Get wild.
Chiefs Kingdom. It's time for All Chiefed Up with your hosts, Steve and Mike Williams.
You're listening to All Chiefed Up, the best damn Kansas City Chiefs podcast in the kingdom.
Chiefs Kingdom, what's up, baby? Noah Gray here, tight end for your Kansas City Chiefs. You're listening to All Chiefed Up with Mike and Steve Williams.
Chiefs Kingdom. It is Saturday night, and we are here. This is what you've asked for.
What's happening?
Saturday Night Live with the All Chiefed Up Boys, and we are here. It's time to get it going. If you've seen on the thumbnail, Steve, we were talking about the Chiefs trading up for offensive tackle Darnell Wright. The draft is less than a week away, Steve. We've been working on our mock draft, so we asked ourselves, if the Chiefs are going to trade up, is it going to be for an offensive tackle or a wide receiver? Me and Steve think it's an offensive tackle. What do you think, Steve?
I think so. I mean, it's so hard to guess, but that just makes the most sense. Like, everyone's been talking about this for a while now, and you just got to protect Patrick Mahomes, right? I mean, am I wrong here? I think that's the thing you got to do. If that's what we're all thinking, that has to be in Veach's head as well. Tackle value drops off tremendously after the first round, after the early first round. So to me, it makes the most sense. But yeah, we're working on our mock draft 2.0. We released 1.0 a few weeks back, and a lot of you guys saw that on our website. And we're tweaking it a little. We've been keeping our ear to the ground, and we're going to try to be as accurate as possible.
Yeah, so let's give them a little sneak peek. First, let's say hey to a few people. We got Brian Parrott in the chat. We have Chiefs Alcoholic. Will, what is up, Will? How are you, man? Good to see you. Stephen James is here. Stephen, our boy. Hey, man, I went to the post office today. I can't believe UPS is going to take my sensitive package of Eagles Tears that you dry ice sent me, and they're going to take it to the post office and then close it. Steve, I was so mad, man. Like, that's so stupid.
Crazy. What's UPS trying to do? They're trying to make yogurt out of your milk.
UPS is trying to get everybody to start using FedEx is what they're trying to do. So, Stephen James, I appreciate it, dude. When I get that milk in, clabbered milk or not clabbered milk, I'm drinking that sucker on live. Steve's
braver than me.
Please don't do it. Trav says 1 week left, and Scott Crosser's here. What's up, Scott? He said, let's go.
Scott.
Made it on time. Oh, we also got Chris Wright in the building. Chris, what's up, man?
What's up, Chris?
Yeah. Dude, this is going to be a fun one tonight. It's going to be a fun one. So, yeah, Steve, back to the mock draft a little bit, and then we'll start answering some questions and talking to all the Chiefs Kingdom here. We went ahead, and we think the Chiefs are going to trade up in the first round. We found a trade partner in Jacksonville. We think Jacksonville at 24 is a perfect opportunity to trade up, try to get a tackle. Brett Veach says in an presser, Steve, that he doesn't expect that if they do trade up, he's going to trade up really far because that's a lot of draft capital to give up. I suspect he doesn't want to give up anything next year. So I'm thinking somewhere around that 20 mark, the same way we did for McDuffie. And so which tackle did we have him going with, Steve, at number 24? It was not Darnell Wright.
We had him going with Anton Harrison, offensive tackle from Oklahoma. He did 3 years of left tackle at Oklahoma. So you'll read this when we release it. We give our thoughts and everything. But we think that he offers a few things for the Chiefs if they take Anton Harrison there. Left tackle experience. We are moving Jawan Taylor over to left tackle, or so that's the plan. So, I mean, it's good to have a little safety net just in case that experiment don't work out. And Anton Harrison can play on the right side if need be. There's a lot there. And then as far as like Jawan Taylor's contract, maybe he doesn't pan out and they want to get out of that contract. Anton Harrison gives you that option. So there's just a lot there. I think it would be a solid first pick for the guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. Mike, what did you think about it?
I like Anton Harrison. A lot of people, my homeboy says he likes Wright better than Anton Harrison. I'm actually a little opposite. I have Broderick Jones rated as I think Broderick Jones is my number 3 guy. I've got him after Skoronski, which also can kick down into guard. But my first left tackle position is Paris Johnson. I don't think we can grab him. I really don't think Paris Johnson's getting past the Titans at 11. But there's a lot of teams wanting tackle there. There could be a run early. Brett Veach might not be able to get none of these guys, but if it's between Harrison and Wright, I like Harrison a little better because I think he gives more left tackle ability. Wright struggled when he played left tackle. He held a lot. I think it was something to do with, his foot movement, different things. But for a right tackle, I think Wright's better at right tackle. So it's either way. Jan, nice to see you, Jan. She totally wants Broderick Jones. I think we all would love Broderick Jones. It's just how much are we willing to give up? Like, are you guys willing to give up our first round, our second round, and possibly a first or second next year just to get a left tackle that
I don't think we can afford it. Like, I mean, obviously we can, but I just don't think it's a great idea. Broderick Jones he's going to be good, but I don't know, man. It just seems like a lot to give up for him. And we've seen a lot of, really good offensive tackles get taken early in the drafts and never pan out. So what if Broderick Jones ends up being that guy and we have, 2 first rounds and a second round tied up in this guy? That'd be a disaster.
Yeah, didn't we actually took Central Michigan. We took Eric Fisher #1, and I believe we passed up. Didn't we pass up Lane Johnson in that draft? Was that Lane Johnson? Who was it?
I don't remember.
I mean,
that wasn't
number 4.
That draft was very, very weak. So I can see why Eric Fisher ended up being the first pick. At the time, it was like, what? Like a little confusing. Obviously, it's always good to put a lot of value in your left tackle position. And Fisher was fine. I'm not down in Fisher, but it's just what a weak draft class that was,
Yeah, I totally I feel that one. But we actually looked for the past few years. We went back through tackles taken in the first 15 picks, and it was something like a 50% bust rate. Like, it was pretty crazy how bad it was. Yeah, they actually took – okay, I'm finding the 2013 draft results right now. Here, I'll go ahead and pop them up on screen for everybody while we're talking about this so you can see it. Yeah, we actually had 2013. So we took Eric Fisher 1. Luke Jokel, he was a bust. Luke Jokel was a bust. Eric Fisher was way better than Luke Jokel. Deion Jordan wasn't bad, but the Eagles got Lane Johnson at 4. So look at that. The third tackle off the board ended up being the best tackle of the bunch. So that's what I'm saying. Broderick Jones, just because he's rated #1, I like how Bleacher Report's out here taking over. But Broderick Jones, because he's #1, does not mean he will pan out the best. Paris Johnson, because he's #1, doesn't mean he's going to pan out the best. We actually have Anton Harrison, Darnell Wright fighting for 3 and 4 at the tackle position if you take out Peter Skoronski. So, I don't know. Maybe you'll have another Lane Johnson situation. Lane Johnson's very he was nimble. He could get to the second level a lot. He was good. I see that with Anton Harrison. I really do.
Well, I see that with Paris Johnson. I think Paris Johnson's the most athletic of these guys. So I think I have him as my #1. Broderick is right there with him. I think he's going to be really good as well. But like Mike said, you never really know. Looking at that 2013 draft, it can get a little scary when you're taking those offensive tackles that high, because if you get a Luke Jokel, that could be devastating. How much are we going to give away of our mock draft 2.0 tonight before we release it, Mike? Did you want to go?
Let's give
one more round,
picks.
or
yeah, we'll go one more. So in the second round, we addressed left tackle in the first round. We traded up. We give away a round 1, and I believe it was a round 3. One of our 2 round 3s is what we give up to Jacksonville. Not too bad. We got a left tackle that can play right this year if Jawan Taylor doesn't come back and do well on the left side. So we did get that. And then in round 2, we went ahead and addressed the wide receiver position. We went with a player that the Chiefs have met with. He's a big guy. He's probably going to play the X. He's like 6'1", 204, something like that. SMU. It's Rashee Rice, Steve. It's Rashee Rice.
right.
That's kind of polarizing. A lot of people think Rashee Rice might not be worth a late second pick, maybe somewhere in the 3rd round, but our 2nd round pick is so late. That's basically a 3rd round pick. And if the Chiefs really like him, we thought, hey, man, it might be a good position here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've talked about how he could maybe go mid to late 2nd round, or he could be well into the 3rd round. It's kind of iffy with Rashee Rice, but I think if the Chiefs think it's their guy, they get first dibs on him in the 3rd round if they take him at the last pick of the 2nd. So I think that'd be a good spot for him. My player comp for him was Chris Godwin, Hines Ward. So I think he's that type of a receiver. Can we make it work in this Chiefs offense? I believe so. I think he's got, the speed and the length, and he gets separation. So can be a deep threat as well. So I like that pick. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Let's see here. What's going on, J7? Good to see you, my man. Chris Wright says that we rock the Bourbon Brothers. Is that your coin's term for us? Is the Bourbon Brothers?
Should we do?
Would it break your heart if we told you that we didn't drink bourbon?
We don't, but we're from the States, Steve, and so maybe we should put our faces on there and make a Bourbon Brothers T-shirt.
We should make our own bourbon. I actually live right up the road from a distillery. What's it called? I can't think of what it's called. No, there's one up the road from me, like 2 seconds here in Radcliffe.
Oh yeah, right across the street. But yeah,
I can't even think of the name of it. Can't think of the name. But we should get our own bourbon made. That's all I got to say about it. David House says nobody but Veach knows what their target is, but it makes sense to do it. That's correct. We've always said that. No one really has any idea where Brett Veach and these guys are going to go in the draft. We're just trying to give our best guess, basically. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Is what it is.
My homeboy, come on now. It can't be that bad. Can it? Like, no, I'm dead serious. Dead serious.
Hey, I just like that he added in drinking the spoiled Eagles tears.
Right.
Because I'm not doing it. You can. I'm not.
Dead serious, though. What is it about Harrison that you do not like? I'm kind of curious to see if that matched up with what I seen. J7, you said Mike's level is lower volume level. I'll turn that up for you. Let me know if it gets too crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things for me with when it comes down to the two tackles, Steve. It's one of those things with me that I just like Harrison's character. I like the way he gets in the weight room. He had a lot of critiques his last season, and then he went in and he got it back. He's really high character, football IQ guy. He loves the game. With Darnell Wright, he's more of a run blocking mauler kind of guy. So I don't know if he actually. I don't know how good his pass blocking ability is. Again, like I said, when he played the left side, he held a lot. So
this is something we talked about actually with that, Mike, is they don't look like they're valuing the run blocking as much. They let Orlando Brown walk. They got Jawan Taylor, who had abysmal grades at run blocking, but he's a good pass blocker. So if they continue that trend, I think they would take Harrison over Darnell Wright for sure. Brian Gale says he likes Harrison to play right tackle this year, and then he'll play left tackle year 2. Well, that's another thing we were saying is you're always gonna have that. If you have Harrison, you know you have another left tackle. So if Jawan Taylor doesn't pan out the way that they thought, then maybe they can get out of that contract and just move Harrison over, or something like that.
Jawan Taylor, pulls a hammy and he's out 2 or 3 weeks or a month. You've got somebody right there on the roster. A lot of people are saying you guys are forgetting, not in the chat today, but we've seen it, a few comments. You guys are forgetting about Lucas Niang. Lucas Niang. Lucas Niang's played about, 100 snaps total since he's been here. So I don't trust Lucas Niang to last. Okay. I think he could probably be beat with a pillow cushion.
Yeah. I'm not big on Lucas Niang either. I just don't think he showed us anything yet, except for being unavailable. That's pretty much all I've got from him. And when he did play, he was okay, but he was nothing special. So I can't put my stock in Lucas Niang, that's for sure. Chris Wright says Andy Heck is the best offensive line coach in the league, and he'll coach them up. Dang right he will. I think that's always a good thing to have.
Hey, he didn't coach up OBJ very well.
Oh, Harry Mills was on Luke Jokel. What's up, Harry, by the way?
He wasn't.
But he was on Jokel before you even looked it up. He knew that was a bust pick.
Harry Mills knew it. I remember when that was coming out. It was between Jokel. I don't even remember Lane being in the conversation. It was always between Jokel and, Fisher. And I was always like, I feel like Lane Johnson. Was Lane Johnson, okay, off the top of my head, I can't remember. Was Lane Johnson from Oklahoma? I think he was an Oklahoma guy. You got to get them Oklahoma linemen, guys. I'm telling you.
Scott Crosser says, I would rather have Harrison than Ohio State Jones. I think Harrison is a great pick. Jones from Georgia will be a top 15 pick, if not top 10. And I do think we have a chance at him. So he's talking about DeJuan Jones, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's who Broshmo had the Chiefs taken in our mock draft we did with him, was taking DeJuan Jones. I like Harrison better than that. Just DeJuan Jones, like we talked about before, he's just kind of like Orlando Brown Jr., like probably a little more athletic, but kind of going to get the same kind of thing from him.
Hey, Kip, nice to see you, buddy. That was disappointing, staying home from work and them taking Eric Fisher. Well, we kind of knew Eric Fisher was going to be the pick, I think, pretty close to the draft. I don't know. He turned out. Eric Fisher wasn't like a groundbreaking left tackle at the position or anything, but he was solid. If you'd have told me this year Eric Fisher on like year 4 or 5 could have come in and played, and took Orlando Brown Jr.'s position this year on the team, I think we'd have still won a Super Bowl. I think he could have got it done for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Ian McKee says, I haven't heard your story. How did two dudes from Kentucky become Chiefs fans? It was our dad, Ian. It was, in the genetics. We got that from our pops, man. He's been the Chiefs fan from way back when they first became a franchise. So that's just something that we got brought up with.
Also,
Kansas City Chiefs.
Also, thanks for being here, Ian. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Appreciate you being here. Everybody, let us know where you're from. I'm bringing out the push pin map early tonight. We're starting from scratch, and we're filling in all 50 states. So let us know where you're from early tonight, and we're going to just keep asking. So if you've already told us before, tell us again.
Right.
I have a bad memory.
Well, if you guys are new here, welcome. We appreciate you. If you haven't hit that sub button yet, hit that sub button. It helps us out. Also, like button on this will help get this stream out a little bit more. Claire says, which wide receiver in round 1? Claire, if we go wide receiver in round 1, I think it has to be one of 2 people, and that's going to be a potential trade up for Quentin Johnston or Zay Flowers. It's one of those 2. If you go first round, will you have to trade up for them? I don't know. A lot of people think that those wide receivers are falling, so. If they were to go a first round wide receiver, I think it would be one of those 2.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
What's going on, Richie? Good to see you, bud.
What's up, Richie? Rich is here. Rich, what's up, fellas? What's up, Rich? Good to see you here, my man. Dude, I tell you, Steve, it's been a wild day, man. I was at a child's birthday party today, guys.
I'm sorry you had to do that.
My little nephew turned... I don't even know how much he turned. I think it's 5. I think he turned 5. I'm a horrible person.
I don't know how much he turned. What does that mean?
I don't know. He turned 5. He wanted Mario video games, so everybody had me singing the Peaches song. I was going around singing the Jack Black Peaches, Peaches, Peaches.
I haven't heard it. I heard people talking about it, but I haven't heard it.
So now that's stuck in my head, so thanks a lot on that. But yeah, it's been a wild one, dude. I'm just glad to be on here talking about Chief football. My homeboy says we don't have 2 3s. We don't. We have 2 4s.
2 4s. Yeah. 2 4th rounders.
Maybe we should move up in the second round, says David Howe. We considered that. I think what we did in our mock, not to give it away, is that we traded our 3rd and then we took our 2 4ths and moved back up into the last part of the 3rd. Or it was the early part of the 4th. That was something like that.
I think we just moved up in the 4th round, actually.
Yeah. So yeah,
you guys got to think
twice.
You guys got to think wherever we're picking, unless it was a compensatory pick or a pick we got in a trade, it's the last pick of that round, essentially. So our first round pick's basically a second round pick. Our second round pick's basically a third round pick. So that's one way to look at it.
For sure. Kip says they Chiefs like drafting offensive tackles in the first round. Through history, yeah, I think they do. Chiefs Kingdom. Poor Lucas. Hope he's in better shape than he's shown so far. Dude, I'm telling you, Lucas Niang, man, that's one of those guys that we kind of thought he would be okay, and then, I don't know. We had an epic rant about him back with the whole COVID thing and how he took off for the year, and that was his chance to shine, and he still took off, and I don't know.
Then the injury following that. I mean, it's been one thing after another with Lucas. So, yeah, poor Lucas. But that's the thing. I have nothing against Lucas Niang, but when people are putting – a lot of stock into that or relying on that to be the answer at right tackle, you're just buying a scratch-off lottery ticket. I mean, pretty much.
Justin Wood, what's up, man? It's good to finally listen to you guys live. Appreciate you being here, man. Jan says, does Kinnard just not have anything? I think
he does.
Veach said the other day in his little presser that he was excited to see Veach get back this year. He thought he progressed a lot in his rookie season. Yep, Kinnard, I'm sorry. Veach progressed too. Kinnard progressed. He said he still would like to try him at right tackle, but ruling him out to guard is not like a thing that they're doing yet. So I think he's going to get his opportunity in camp. I just don't think you can look at Kinnard and you can look at Niang, and you can look at Prince, Tega. You can look at any of those guys and be like, look, that's a definite starter at right tackle. We don't need anybody. I think anytime you can upgrade talent across the board, you have to do it. I've been hearing a lot of weird rumors going around. I'll address these later tonight. It's a surprise pick. I told Steve about it last night. They said it was a surprise pick, possibly in the 3rd round, that the Chiefs could pull the trigger on somebody really crazy. And
I don't even remember what you told me.
Well, there you go. I'm going to bait that out, and I'm going to throw that out in just a little bit, so stick with us. If you guys are here and you have not yet did so, hit that like button. Smash that like button. Let YouTube know that, hey, All Chiefed Up's online and people are watching.
I saw you waging a war with YouTube in the comment section right before we started. I saw that.
Dude.
I don't know if it's the smartest idea.
At this
I'm
point,
just
I don't
kidding.
care. You don't know how many of you guys, subscribers, come to us all the time and it's like, look, YouTube will not tell me when you guys go live. They won't show me your videos.
Yeah, none of the notifications work. Yeah.
None of the notifications are working. Like, apparently YouTube doesn't like us, and that's fine. If YouTube wants to act like that, I'll declare war on them, and I don't care. But other than that, we're still going to get it out to the people. That's what I say. We're getting it
Yeah,
out to the
Kinnard,
people.
though, Jan, to answer Jan's question real quick, I wanted to add to that. Kinnard will prove to be a good pick. I guarantee it. I think he's too versatile. He was a really good right tackle at Kentucky, but it was a run-heavy offense. There was no way he was going to be able to step in this Kansas City offense at right tackle as a rookie. He's getting to see that, but he can also play guard. And we got a lot of contracts getting ready to come up, Jan. So Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, Joe Tooney, all those guys are going to have to be paid eventually. And Darian Kinnard could be that guy that gives us a little bit of slack there.
Yeah, for sure. Harry says Johnson projected as a right tackle, and I think he played the right in his first few seasons. Could be wrong as usual. Are you Paris Johnson? He played left tackle his last year, but you could be right there. I didn't dig back into his film early in his career, but it's possible at Ohio
DeWan
State.
Johnson? I don't know which Johnson he's talking. There's so many Johnsons.
DeWan Jones. Get it
Okay,
right.
okay. See, I can't even get it right.
I know, we all suck. Okay,
So
Justin
there's
Wood.
Broderick Jones and
Right.
DeWan Jones. Okay, this is crazy. They
I
need
know.
new names.
Too many names. Justin Wood says, I think they need to stay where they are because they won the ship just to show them we can stay or move back and win another one. I think moving in and out, I accidentally clicked that, sorry. I think moving around is just something Brett Veach is doing because we have a lot of draft capital. You can't afford to sit there and take 11, 12 players. You can't pay them all. So I think he moves up and down just for that. Chiefs Kingdom, Kinnard fits better as a guard than a tackle. He probably does. I think his biggest thing, Steve, was we're Kentucky guys, and in Kentucky, all we do is run a pro-style offense, and we like to run the ball a lot. So I think he's more of like a run-blocking mauler kind of guy. And in our
Right.
finesse pass offense, that doesn't work all that well. So that's another
But when
reason.
in his passing reps though at Kentucky, the dude wins. I mean, he was solid. So I mean, it wouldn't be far fetched for him to be a starting right tackle. But you're right, he might fit better in that guard position.
Uh-oh, here
Got
we go.
Colorado in the house.
We're getting them going. We got Colorado and Michigan.
Nice.
We have a Colorado and Michigan.
Hey, check this out. Will, it's from Montana. He's the one that's from Booty, Montana.
Yep.
Did we ever, set that straight if it was Butte or Booty?
I don't know, man. We got.
I don't know
We
either.
got a little California.
Somebody
on the
help us
board.
with that.
We got Wichita,
Obviously, we got a
Kansas.
KC here,
Kansas is
California.
on the board. Kips from Iowa. We got that going.
Harry
Guys, we're
says he's originally from KC. Where are you at, Harry? I didn't see that. I must have missed the comment.
Keith says Homer and St. Joe. Chris Wright Fishers was okay-ish, not a first number one overall left tackle. Good.
I don't think so either, as far as that goes. Fisher was not a number one overall pick. It was a very, very weak draft. But, if they would have took like Lane Johnson the way that he plays now, you wouldn't question that as much as Eric Fisher being the first pick of the draft. So
Right.
I'm with you, Chris. I think so.
Okay, so we got Brian Gales says Arizona. Heck yeah, we got that on the board. Greg is from Washington. We're throwing it on the board. Guys, I have a feeling we're getting this 50 tonight. Call your friends in Hawaii and Alaska and tell them to log on.
Tell them to help.
Because that's going to be the two. That's the two.
Probably gonna need some help in that Northeast as well, because what little people up there actually like football, it's all about New England, unfortunately.
Some lady called me on the phone last night. They couldn't find something, they were like, we've been on the phone for 30 minutes. Can you help them find directions or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'll try. So I call them and they're not answering the phone. So then they call back and they're like, they're waiting in a Rafferty's parking lot for you. Just go there. And they were like, they've got a bunch of Boston sports team stickers on the back. And I was like, well, that's the reason, they're not very bright. Is all that Boston sports stuff on it. So needless to say, she
Right.
hung up on me. She was from Boston.
So Harry, he says Yang was playing stiff-legged at left tackle, landing hard with his leg straight was a patellar tear waiting to happen. Yeah, I mean, he did seem stiff to me. Like, even when he was playing, like, I kind of see why he's always injured. Like, just by how he played. It's crazy to say that, but I mean, I see what you're talking about there, Harry. Rich, he says, I read CEH will be involved with a D-Hop trade. Do you think that will happen, or do you even care? Rich, I don't think that we'll see a draft day trade, but I do think it's a possibility. I would not be blown away if they do trade, say for D-Hop or something like that. It wouldn't like totally floor me, but I don't think it's a big possibility. Would CEH be involved? Quite possibly. I don't think CEH is going to be around for the long term here. So it just depends on if anybody even sees value in CEH or wants them, to be honest.
Yeah, I hear you. Brent, what's up, man? I missed your comment there, but what is going on? Good to see you here. Richie. Yep. Yeah, I don't know about CEH. You know, I don't think they're going to pick a. It does not make sense to give him his 5th-year option. So I just don't. I think you got to get rid of him this year probably, because you kind of want to do that for CEH's his career going forward. If CEH stays on the roster another year and ends up getting injured, nobody's going to want to touch him. So get rid of him if there's any value. If anybody wants to give you a 6th-round pick for him, 7th-round pick, you might as well just take it because you're not signing him anyway.
Right.
Jackson, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Jackson? He says trade up for Nolan Smith. I don't think that is like out of the question completely, but not very likely. Nolan Smith is a beast. I wouldn't mind seeing him in this Chiefs defense, but he's more of a smaller speed rusher type guy, and we don't tend to get those. Like, we were high on Nick Bonito last year, and of course we ended up with Karlaftis, and those are the type of guys that we seem to go with. I just don't think the Chiefs would get Nolan Smith. Would not be opposed to it, though. Not opposed to it.
I don't mind Nolan Smith. I think that's intriguing. I do know Spags has been blitzing, Willie Gay off the edge a lot last year. But Nolan Smith, he's not going to have his hand in the dirt probably. I just don't see that happening. So who knows? He's not like a prototypical Spags guy, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
All right, what's going on, Greg? How you doing, bud?
What's up, Greg?
He says, I wish KC would take defensive tackle Kelijah Cansey in the 1st. Even if they have to trade up for him, I think he will be a star. Your interview with him was top notch. Hey, we appreciate that. That was fun getting to talk to Kelijah. Good kid, awesome kid. He's a great player. I think he's gonna be very effective for somebody in the NFL, because that kid is going to be in the backfield. Would love to see him beside Chris Jones. I think it would be. I would not be mad at all. They might not even have to trade up for Cansey. I think they would have to, in my opinion. I think he's a 1st-round pick. But if he were to fall to 31 and they did not take him, I would be a little, it'd be a little head scratcher to me. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know if he's getting past Detroit at some point in the teens there, but he's a smaller guy. And talking to him on the thing was really awesome. Like on the interview, he was cool. I like Elijah Cansey. I just don't know what we'll do there. Steve, I'm going to jump forward just a little bit just because Kelly Clark is here. I remember you, Kelly. You talked to us last year when we
That's awesome.
When we actually called Darian Kinnard getting picked, and we were talking about how we love Darian Kinnard. She says, I'm Darian's grandmother, and I think Darian will be good whenever he ends up. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm partial? I don't think you're partial. I do.
Well,
but
we
agree with you.
But I am also partial. I wanted Darian Kinnard in the draft. I called it the day before. And I still believe in Darian Kinnard. I think he could be, like I said, I think he has a potential to be a starting right tackle. Like, no doubt. From what I saw him do at Kentucky, obviously it's a big jump to the NFL, and then it's a whole different play style. So I think that's why Brett Veach and crew has decided to, and the coaches have played it slow with him. And not just throwing him out there into the fire, but I think he has the ability to do it, and I think that he will get to compete for it this year. Whether they draft one or not, he's still going to get to compete for that right tackle spot if they move Juwan Taylor over to left. So I'm excited for it. And then if all else fails, you could see him being plugged in at guard later when all these contracts come up. I think, like I said earlier, Darian Kinnard's going to prove to be a good draft pick, in my opinion. And that's awesome. Tell him we said hello, Kelly.
Yep. Jack Green says, they don't tell us when you guys go live. Yeah, I know, Jack. YouTube, that's why me and YouTube's beefing. They don't want you to see us. They're trying to hide you from the truth, which is that All Chiefed Up is out here just crushing it, and they don't want to do it. Keith, though, says, I have a pro tip. Bookmark the subscription page if on your computer. So that must help, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that does, but okay, cool pro tip. So, yeah, if you guys want to make sure you see us, bookmark it on the computer. I don't know what that does. Will, Steve, he answers you. He says it is Butte, not Butt. So get it right or pay the price.
Well, I know. That's what I was asking. I don't know how it's pronounced. Like, I still don't know how it's pronounced, even from that comment, Will. Like, is it just Butte?
Steve,
Butte?
come on now.
Like beauty?
Come on. Harry Mills says,
Type beauty if it's Butte.
Harry's in Idaho via PA and Colorado. You know what that means, Harry? I'm adding all of them. We got a little Idaho.
Harry for the win.
We got a little Pennsylvania. What was the third one? I can't remember.
Colorado. We already have
Colorado's
that,
on the
don't we?
board. Look at this. We're going to fill this map up so quick, guys. I feel it tonight.
Happening.
Brent says, mark Texas down.
Nice.
Well, I will. Thank you, sir. You're the man. Okay, let's move back on. Can you see, says Scott Crosser, the Chiefs drafting any position besides offensive tackle, edge, or wide receiver in the first 2 rounds? Steve says yes. What do you see, Steve?
Defensive tackle. They could potentially go Kalijah Cansey, Keanu Benton, Mozzie Smith. I think those are the names that you need to really look at. All
Mozzie.
very
Mozzie.
athletic, very good players. And I think like we got, what's his name? Derek Nottie. He's back on a 1 year. Turk Wharton should be coming back from injury. And, you know, there's a lot of people that's actually comping Kalijah Cansey to Turk Wharton. So if you like his play style, but maybe probably a better prospect coming out would be Kalijah Cansey. So, yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. Mozzie Smith is a freak athlete. It's somebody to get in there beside Chris Jones and wreak some havoc, man, because that's what we've been missing, in my opinion.
For sure. Jack says, Crispy passing the memberships out. I listened to 2 live shows. He gave me memberships in both. Thanks, Chris. Chris, you do a lot of awesome stuff. Chris is the man. He's been helping us grow here with memberships. He's given memberships out like candy on, I don't even know, like a parade or something. He's just
Halloween?
Oh, yeah, Halloween. That's what I was going for. Good job. I was going to say Easter. I think that's just passed. I don't know. I'm crazy. But yeah, Chris, man, we appreciate you. Chris is the man. That's just all there is to it. Okay, let's move along.
Oh, yeah. Check that email again, Chris. Check that email.
Yeah. Harry says, Kelly Clark, you're very biased. We're all taking shots
His
at
grandma.
Kelly. Okay, Chris Cheeks, West Virginia. We're putting it back on the map, and we're adding West Virginia, fellas.
Nice.
Here we go. Boom. I don't know why.
West Virginia was not kind to me in our time playing music and travels. West Virginia scared me quite a bit. We always ended up stopping in the mountains somewhere, and the big guys spitting tobacco at me weren't fun.
Yeah, they thought Steve was weird. Jan Fry says, Kelly Clark, you have every reason to be partial. She does.
Yes. We do too. Because he's been our boy for a few years now. Over in Lexington, so.
Kelly says, oh, and put Tennessee on your map. She's from Knoxville. You're right. That's where our boy Kinnard's from. Oh,
Knoxville.
He played high school in Ohio. If he was here right now, I'd put Ohio on the board, but he's not. Call up Kinnard. See if he wants to come on the show sometime. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, see if Darian wants to come on here and talk with us. That'd be great.
Dude, that'd be sick. People love to hear that. People like Darian Kinnard. I noticed Chiefs Kingdom like Kinnard.
He's awesome.
We all rooted for him last year to get in and play a lot more than he did. We were so bummed when he wasn't getting to play in like the preseason and stuff, and we were so confused. We actually thought he had a good chance of winning that right tackle spot, and I don't know. I don't know what the deal was.
It was a slow play, man. Like I said, I mean, Veach flat out said it. He just had to adjust to heavy passing offense in the NFL. That's all there was to it. I think people were digging too far into it, actually.
Right. Greg. What's up, Greg? Greg says, I live in Indiana across that river from Louisville. My kids go to U of L. I've watched Pitt play at Louisville in person. Cansey absolutely doesn't play like he's a small DT. Cansey is a man among men. You're right, dude. He does. When you watch that film,
good.
That's pretty awesome. You got kids that go to U of L. That's pretty sick. And you live, if you don't mind me asking, where do you live across the river? Is it Clarksville?
New Albany.
New Albany, one of them? We find ourselves over there somewhere. Every once in a while.
Occasionally.
I like yeah.
When we get into Hoosier territory.
Yeah. Sometimes we cross over towards where Meade County, Kentucky is, and we'll cross back that way. That's how we used to go to the casino in Indiana. And we'd come up on that. What's that little town we go through, Steve, where we get on 64 and head over towards KC and St. Louis? What is that little town?
Corbin?
Corbin.
Maybe? I don't know.
I think so. But yeah, we go through there a lot. So let us know. Harry says yes, Butte like beauty.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Now I know.
It's Butte. We got it.
Thanks for that clarification for me. I'm not, brain's not working.
Hey, Richie says YouTube's treating y'all like Todd Haley ran Chiefs.
Man.
Dude, hey, that's
Why
perfect.
are they doing that to us? I hate Todd Haley, too.
Steve
I
has
hate
a
him.
beef
And
with
they're-
Todd Haley so much.
Man, Todd Haley was so bad. Like that was got to be. Am I wrong to think that's the worst era of Chiefs football? Was the Todd Haley years?
Man, it has to be up there. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, y'all put it in the comments, but I think that's definitely it.
Jack Green says, yeah, for us to do a Saturday, so you had to show up. You're right. Jack, you were here last week, and Saturday it is. Chief Kelsey says, I got a notification today that you were going live at 7:15.
Nice.
That's cool. Chief Kelsey, hey, your boy's coming on here pretty soon. We talked to
Yes,
him on
sir.
Twitter. I can't wait to pick his brain a little bit. Be sure and ask him some good stuff in the comments, man. Out him a little bit. Tell us what he was like as a kid. You know, if you want to.
Don't do it. Don't do that.
If you want to ask him about the time he fell off his bike or something crazy, go for it, man. Let me see.
Why
Here
would
we
you
go.
put that on somebody?
Justin says, I'm 30 minutes away from Nebraska, so you got another one.
Nice.
Let's put Nebraska on the board. Nebraska's on the board. Okay, I'm going to take this off. If anybody sees look, if you see a white state, if your state's not lit up in pink, go ahead, take 2 seconds, put that in the comment. Let us know what state you're in. There's 70 of you watching, and not 70 of you have put the comments in. I'm watching. So, you know, I'm seeing it. And now there's
Right.
74. So if you just joined us, I'm going to keep doing this over and over. If you're just joining us, go ahead, click that like button, and tell us where you're from. We're trying to fill up this map. Come
Right.
on, guys.
Also, if you're not a subscriber yet and you love Chiefs football and you like Chiefs content, hit that subscribe button. That way you can join us more often. We're trying to build a little community here, and so far so good. A lot of good people, man. It's been great so far. So all you news people, welcome. Jump on in and get your feet wet.
Yep. Scott says, could Branch fall to 31? You're talking about Branch from Alabama.
Brian,
It's possible. It's possible. He plays
I
a
think
little.
so.
He's listed as he could be a safety or a corner. He plays a little slot. I feel like we have that though a little bit. So I don't know if we would still take him, but he's a good football player. I think he probably gets picked before we pick at 31.
Is he comparable to what Brian Cook's doing? Sort of.
Yeah, I'd like to see which one of those two could stop the run better, because they can both come down the field and just light
Right.
you up. So that would I guess he's pretty similar.
Do you
He's
think the
probably-
Chiefs would even? I don't even know if the value is there if the Chiefs would still go safety on the first round. They might,
Right.
but I don't know.
Plain Rock.
What's up, Rock? Good to see you, bud.
What's up? He says Chris gave me one. Pretty awesome membership again. Pretty awesome of him to bless people with that, especially the best shows on YouTube. Thanks, man. What's up, fellas? Have a good one. Take care. Okay, Chris or Plain Rock.
Hey, we
here,
appreciate that.
He's coming at us and he's getting out of here. But I
Hey,
appreciate.
he's been around for a while. He's an OG. He's been commenting for
I
a
know.
long time. We appreciate you, man. One of the good ones there. Let's see.
Oh, look at
Christy
this.
Cheney. How about those Chiefs from Northern Arkansas? What's going on, Christy? Good to see you.
She has got Arkansas on the
Welcome.
map too, baby.
Arkansas's on the map. We are filling this up pretty good, actually.
I know.
Kind of surprised. There's a lot. Chiefs Kingdom spread so far. It's just ridiculous. And that's what this channel is kind of all about. We don't care where you're from. You don't have to be from Kansas City to be a Chiefs fan. I hate when people say stuff like that because it's just, it's crazy. 98% of Chiefs fans don't live in Kansas City because it's just how it is. So.
Greg says Sellersburg. Okay, I know where Sellersburg is.
Yes.
Don't go through there very often, but yeah, I do know where it is. That's pretty cool, man. If you're ever down this way, we'll watch a Chief game together. Christy says we need an awesome tandem running back pair, so it would be awesome if they draft Rocket Sanders from U of A. He is a baller. Dude, I tell you, we do need a running back pair. The only running backs that we have looked at, I want to say, Steve, is
we looked at this. Who was it?
Deuce Vaughn is the only one they've actually met with, right?
Right. Now, Deuce Vaughn, to me, he's good. He's like a good receiving back, very quick, but he's so small. I'm afraid he's like a DeAnthony Thomas. That's what I'm afraid of with Deuce Vaughn. Like somebody that just can't ever really produce that much because they're just too small. It's a possibility. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, you can't get another bruising back. That's what Pacheco does, but Pacheco's also got the speed to go with it. So who knows what they want to do there? They said they would also readdress Jet McKinnon after the draft. So if they do draft
Yeah.
someone, it's probably bad news on the McKinnon front. So we kind of, I don't really know which way they're going to go there. We'll let Veach decide that one because I don't want to get into that one. Hey, Kip Carnes says Romeo Crennel era was pretty bad.
That was bad, but I don't know if I would consider it worse than Todd Haley. Crennel was when all the that was a tough time as Chiefs fans too. That was during the Javon Belcher and all that stuff, right? Like I don't know. Those were dark times. Dark times for the Chiefs. So we'll put it right there beside it, but I'm still picking Todd Haley as the worst.
Scott says I started an FU Haley take the sack at Arrowhead my first game. So I'll probably a chant. That's hilarious, dude. Christy says Arkansas. Christy, I appreciate you. We got that. She says Razorbacks and Chiefs Kingdom. As Kentucky fans, we battle the Razorbacks, and you guys are better than us at basketball now. Who would have ever thought that Arkansas would be more of a powerhouse at basketball than Kentucky? Then again, you guys had Nolan Richardson days, man. You guys run the 40 minutes of hell back in the day when y'all beat Duke. Or I don't know if you guys
that was a good college basketball team, honestly.
Wait,
as much as I didn't like them.
Who won that championship game? Was it Duke or Arkansas? I remember watching it.
I thought Arkansas ended up winning. I'm not for sure.
Yeah, probably. Richie says Todd Haley, then Romeo.
All right. Hey, well, Matt's here. We're going to go ahead and get him in the chat.
Oh, there he is.
Let's do that.
Yeah, you guys let...
there we go. Get that map off the screen. Let's see this beautiful face here, Matt.
I'm getting it off. There we go. Can you hear us, my man?
I have no audio for you, Matt.
I do not.
Yeah, I muted myself. I bet we're good now. I'm a professional at this. I haven't been doing this for like half a decade now or anything. We're good.
Hey, I do it every time probably, so it's okay.
Yeah. Every live stream, the audio is crazy. We're good, man. How are you? How are you?
You know, I'm making it. Got a few more days before I fly out to Kansas City to get ready for this whole draft thing. So, getting antsy.
Wait, what? They're having the draft in KC this year?
That's the rumor I've heard. Maybe I'm going to the wrong place, though. I don't know. It's quite possible.
It's a possibility. Man, it's crazy that it's come up this close, but I bet you're kind of like us. All the work and the digging and everything else, man, it'll be nice when it just hurries up and gets here.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm ready for it. It's like every year it's ebbs and flows, right? So like I'm a big draft guy. So like in the middle of the summer, I start getting the itch to look ahead. And then as the year goes on and we get to the combine, it's like, okay, now there's this big lull after the combine. And I'm so bored and I hate every prospect that's ever existed because I've watched them way too many times. And then now we're back to like excitement, the super excitement a couple days out again. So it's just all over the place.
Absolutely, for sure. Go, man, with the 5. Thanks, bud. We appreciate that.
Yep, we appreciate it.
So, Matt, we're going to probably just take a lot of comments and questions from people as they come in. But just overall, man, I'm kind of wondering what you're thinking. Like, what would you think is the ideal thing for the Chiefs to do in this draft, whether it's trade up and get an offensive lineman, whatever, just front to back? What does Matt Lane think would be the best route to take?
Oh man, there's so many. So this is the hard part, right? We're Chiefs fans. The Chiefs are really good. We're at the end of the round, every round of the draft anymore. So like, it's really hard to have like a plan because you don't know how this stuff's going to go down. And like, even it seems pretty clear that the Chiefs don't either, right? They're bringing in wide receivers that a lot of people think are going in the top 20. And one of the top offensive tackles is coming in for a last second visit. Like nobody for the Chiefs perspective seems to really have a good idea. So like, in a perfect world, one of these top 4-5 offensive tackles falls a little bit. The Chiefs have a chance to go get them and maybe really shore up the offensive line. I guess I could say the same thing for wide receiver. It's really, you're hoping a blue chip type player falls a little bit and they have a chance to go up and get them because I don't love this draft class overall. So like, hopefully somebody slides a little bit.
No,
it's not the greatest draft class, that's for sure.
How many players do you actually have a round 1 grade on? Because mine is slim. Okay. It's like 12 to 15, somewhere in that range. It's bad.
So we do the Kcsn draft guide every year, and I think this is our second lowest number of first round picks that we have given out since we've done it for the past 5 seasons now. I believe we are sitting right at 15 this year, and the only other year that was less, I think it was 14, and it was the COVID year where a lot of guys opted to go back to school. So not that many first rounders, but even more than that, I haven't counted all the way up, but I would venture to guess our second round is probably pretty light compared to most years too. And I think that's where you really start to feel it in this draft.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that Veach was right on the money the other day when he was talking about late round. I think that's where it's loaded, is the late round. I think this, I don't know. So maybe that's a good indication that there's a player they really want and they are going to give up a little draft capital to go get them. Because if they don't, you're taking players that may not be worth it, to be honest. Steven, thanks for the $2, man. We appreciate the support. Chiefs fan said, when you guys said Matt was here, I thought you guys were talking about me, Matt Van Way. Matt, it's cool. Matt Van
Hey,
Way,
it's cool that you're here
you.
too, man. It's good to see you back.
We appreciate you. We'll
switch
go ahead.
roles if they let that happen.
We'll go ahead and boot Matt off the thing, and we'll bring Matt Van Way on for a second. So, but yeah, dude. We were talking earlier. Okay, we're just gonna jump in. Our thumbnail. We said that would the Chiefs trade up for Darnell Wright? Do you think if you had the option? And there's a lot of tackles coming off the board, somewhere around that Jacksonville area at 24. Do you think that the Chiefs would jump up and take a Darnell Wright or an Anton Harrison there? Or do you think they would just sit and wait? If you do think they would, which one would you prefer?
Man, so, okay, I'm trying to think, rack it through my head now. I think as long as both of them are there, they probably would stay put, right? I think they would kind of play the number game as long as they could. That seems like the Chiefs kind of MO. If you got down with only one of them left, I'm sure they would consider it. I think the issue is Brett Veach kind of said it. I don't think they love it, but they're okay with Lucas Niang and Prince Tigawanogo competing for that right tackle spot. Like, I don't think they like it, but I think they probably feel comfortable enough going into camp with those two guys in competition, maybe with another rookie. I don't know if they're going to feel the pressure that they have to go get a right tackle. So to me, that's where the cutoff is. If it's, the Chiefs will never take him to play tackle, but if Peter Skoronski was there, or if Paris Johnson or Broderick Jones were there, my answer is absolutely yes. I have a little bit of a step back before you get to Darnell Wright or Anton Harrison. So I probably wouldn't, but I wouldn't be upset if the Chiefs did.
Right. So we were saying Anton Harrison seems more likely in that situation because of his experience at left tackle. And, of course, we're going back to the right tackle as a left tackle experiment once again. And I think that would be a little bit of a safety net to have him there just in case it doesn't pan out. And, and then, of course, the contract we just gave Juwan Taylor. If things don't work out, maybe we can get out of it and just slide Anton over.
Yeah, and I think he fits what the Chiefs like to do, schematically a little bit better. Darnell Wright's a great mover for his size, nothing wrong with his game if you start looking at the process. But you watch that Tennessee offense, he's blocking a 5-yard quick passing attack every single play, right? I am a little hesitant to say Darnell Wright's going to drop 7-8 yards every single play and then be able to mirror a defender as Mahomes starts moving forward, back, left, right. I think that's where he gets in a little bit of trouble. So I don't love the scheme fit of Darnell Wright and the Chiefs, whereas Anton Harrison, I do think shows that footwork, that overall lateral agility to survive in the systems. I would lean with him being a little better fit. It's just, I don't know if that's worth trading up for. I don't know if the Chiefs think that's worth trading up for in their current state.
Right. Totally understand that, man. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Also, a lot of people say Wright played left tackle too. When I watched Darnell Wright's film from 2 years ago, he struggled on the left side and he held a lot. That dude reminded me of Matthew Bergeron coming out this year, who I call the Huggy Bear. Me and Matt Bergeron don't get along. What's your thoughts on Matt Bergeron?
He's not my favorite offensive tackle. That's for sure. But man, he's got some work to do. There's good stuff there, right? There's some stuff you like his power, you like the demeanor. There's parts of his game that you like, but he gets over antsy with those hands. They fire wide, high, left, right. I don't know. He doesn't really know where he's putting his hands. And Canadian football player, didn't get any real offers, kind of walked on into a scholarship invite there at Syracuse. So you kind of get why he's raw, but you still got to say that he's raw. And, not my favorite guy, but if we're talking day 2 sometime, I would understand somebody, even the Chiefs, taking that swing.
Hey, every time there's a player I'm not too fond of, Brett Veach gets him. So, we're right there with it. We're definitely taking Bergeron the second round. We are. Jack,
mark it down.
Jack with the $5. We appreciate you, Jack. Also, Chris Wright said he has the Kcsn draft guide, and it's awesome. Yeah, guys, if you don't got that, go over there and cop that. I'm not for sure how much it is, Matt. How much is it?
Oh, so you're gonna put me on the spot because we've linked it in with their Substack. I believe it's $15.99, and that also gets you the draft guide and then 3 months of the KCSN Substack. So you go to KCSN Substack, or actually, if you go to my Twitter, it's Maddie_KCN. There's a link there pinned to my profile. That way, it takes you to the link where you get the Substack membership as well as the draft guide all together for $15.99. 3 months worth of the Substack plus the draft guide. I'm biased because I write it, right? But, it's a really good tool for those that are Chiefs fans. It's an entire draft guide completely designed for Chiefs fans and, all about the Chiefs, how guys fit with the Chiefs. You're not going to be reading just bland, generic scheme fit stuff. So, we kind of started that a few years ago and we've really liked the feedback we got on it.
Yeah, that's sweet. If you use code ACU, they'll give it to you for 99 cents. No, I'm joking. That's not going to happen.
See, I have no control over this. Like, I can't even sweat because I have no control over any of this. That all goes to, my friend, my colleague, Kent Swanson. So, hey, he can sweat it out if we say it.
That's awesome, dude. Hey, we got Darian Kinnard's in the chat. I don't know if this is really Darian Kinnard, let's be honest. But he says, it's Darian. Heard my grandma was chatting with y'all. We did talk with his grandma a little bit. So if this is Darian, cool. I don't know.
Yeah, welcome, dude.
I'm glad he's here.
We
glad you're here.
We don't have any blue check marks like Twitter, so we don't we don't know if you're real or not. No, I'm just kidding.
I hear you.
All right. So a lot of people's talking about wide receiver in the first round, and we don't really think there's any wide receivers worth a first round pick per se. I guess if they had to take one in the first round, it'd probably be like Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, correct? Is there anybody else that you think would be worth that pick 31 at wide receiver?
So I get it with this wide receiver class. I don't want to say it's a strong wide receiver class, right? But I don't think the top 4 wide receivers, so your Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, the Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Jordan Addison, like, I don't think that's a bad top 4 receivers when you're talking about drafting in the back 10 picks of the first round. You want to compare those guys to Jahan Dotson, Treylon Burks, pretty much any, besides Justin Jefferson, pretty much any other back, third of the first round wide receivers. I like all those guys. So I am completely on board with any of them if they fall to 31. I currently right now kind of have fallen for Jordan Addison. So he's my top wide receiver. I would love the Chiefs to get him. I just think his reliability and his consistency of creating separation versus man and zone coverage is kind of what they're missing right now. They don't have that reliable target. So I would love for them to get Jordan. I think if they had a chance to trade up even a couple spots for him, he would be the guy that I would go for. But I understand everyone's hesitation with this wide receiver class. I just don't think it's that bad overall when you're talking about pick 31.
Do you think everybody just thinks that because there's still good value on wide receivers come third round? Is that why people are down on these other guys? Because they think there's not that big of a gap between, say, Trey, what's his name from Nebraska? It's off.
Palmer.
Losing it.
Yep, Trey
Palmer. Yeah, is there not that big of a gap for some people? It's like Trey Palmer to Addison that we think, or is that what it is? I don't know.
Maybe. You definitely have wide receivers that have hit on day 2 over the past couple of years, especially since the NFL kind of standardized contracts. Technically the best value for wide receiver has probably been in round 2 when you're considering the money that goes into it. But there's a pretty big gap between, round 1, 2 wide receivers hitting and round 3 wide receivers hitting. And on top of that, for me, the reason that it's seen as a down class, your best wide receiver is a slot only guy that didn't play this entire last year. And we're talking about Jackson Smith-Njigba maybe going in the top 12 picks. And you compare that to Garrett Wilson, who Ohio State tried to trot out as their wide receiver over him at some point in time. Or you compare that to Jamar Chase, who was this clear-cut, going to be a stud wide receiver in the NFL. I think the rest of the wide receiver class gets knocked because there isn't that guy really should be contending for a top 10 pick.
Sweet. Yeah, I totally agree. Brian Parrott says, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm curious who Mike didn't like last year that Veach picked up.
Ooh.
Actually, there was nobody. I actually liked all of them. I think the one I was kind of disappointed in, but maybe the only guy that didn't contribute as much as we'd like, Najee Johnson, but he did come in, done a lot of good special teams work there at the end. And that was only because there was a wide receiver I was looking for out of Nebraska last year that I really liked. And I think the Packers took him right before we picked Torrey. And that's who I wanted to see him grab. That would have gave me 5 picks on the nose last year if they'd have grabbed Torrey. And
right, yeah, you were on it, dude.
They drafted him right before. But yeah, I would say that's probably who I would say. But again, Kinnard says, "What's up? All good. Appreciate y'all." If this is really Darian Kinnard, awesome to be here. If we're getting trolled, hey, you know what? I don't care.
Well, if it's really him, we've been fans for a long time. We're in Kentucky, so we've been watching you all through college, bro.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, what's your thoughts on wide receiver Jalen Hyatt? We hear that name thrown out a lot. Okay. I'm not a fan of Jalen Hyatt. I will tell you why when I'm done. I'll let you go first. Let me know if you like Jalen Hyatt or not, especially at 31.
Okay. So I'm glad you put that last part on there at 31, right? At 31, I'm not particularly excited. Not that I don't get it. I get why people are saying it. I just wouldn't be a fan of it. He's a vertical stretch guy. I think he's really fast. I'm not buying the combine time. I think, I've heard that he's hit 23 miles per hour in practices and games, not routinely, but enough that he has real speed on the field that matters. Like, I get it. Vertical stretch. He tracks the ball really well. His ball skills throughout his time at Tennessee have gotten a lot better. So I'm not worried about him dropping the ball or tracking it like Albert Wilson, where he never could find the ball when looking over his shoulder, right? But what else can he do? What else is there? What he really got on my nerves was you're going to be this skinnier, really fast wide receiver that has to play off the line of scrimmage in the slot, and you can't give me consistent yards after catch. You can't make guys miss. And like, once you remove that aspect of his game, I get a little worried because now you've gone from like either a shot play or get the ball now and create player to just a shot play player. And that's not a pick, it's not a first round pick to me. I'd be really hesitant to go that route.
Dude, I feel the same. This is what I didn't like about Jalen Hyatt. I think Tennessee's gimmicky offense with Josh Heupel, this kid never had to play man-to-man. He never had to get off coverage. He's constantly running wide open, which is all scheme. And I do get it. Andy Reid can scheme people, but you're not going to be that wide open in the NFL.
That's my thing. He's not going to be as open.
18. I counted 18 snaps against press coverage. He had one catch against press on 18 snaps. So it's like, with me not knowing if he can actually line up and beat a receiver one-on-one and man press coverage, I'm not going to take him at 31. I would almost pass him at 60 something too. I think he's got bust written all over him. I could be wrong. Whatever. Darian Kinnard says, no, man, no troll. Heard TK was going to be on later. Is that Travis? Yeah. Kelsey will be here in a little bit. He's here a little bit.
Stop by real quick.
Yeah, he may swing by. I think Matt.
He routinely shows up on our Saturday Night Live stuff.
Matt might get him on here. Maybe Matt can get him on the phone. I don't know. Matt, your dad was here earlier, man. He was supposed to come back and tell us. He was going to come back and tell us stories about you as a child, but he disappeared.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad then.
Mike baited him. Mike baited him into that. He did too. I was like, that's not cool, bro. No. Because if it was our dad, he would do it. He would out everything.
No, listen, I'm sure if he got the opportunity, he would. Don't you guys worry. I don't know. He must be a little busy right now. That's okay. You got to keep our fingers crossed he stays that way.
Let's see. Would you consider trading up in the second for Jahmyr Gibbs? Me personally, yes. I think if he's still there in the second round, that's tremendous value. That guy is Jamal Charles 2.0 is what I see. So what do you think, Matt?
Love Jahmyr Gibbs. I think we should have, I don't think he's wide receiver or running back one, right? I don't think it's quite that far, but if you want to have a conversation with me about how he could be better than Bijan Robinson in the NFL, I will hear it out, right? So I love the player, would love him. And, in the second round, trading up, that's where it depends on how far, I guess, right? If you're jumping a couple people and just getting rid of one of those later day 3 picks, I'm not going to complain. But if we're talking a pretty substantial jump up into the top 50, I don't know. The running back thing, I still buy in a little bit to, you don't have to have a running back. Don't spend big on a running back. So that's where my hesitation would come in. But man, I love the player. And I think he would be what a lot of us thought Clyde Edwards-Helaire would be, I guess. Like he actually is that kind of receiver. So like that's where I get excited.
For sure. So you think it's possible for Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs to not hit the first round?
Yeah,
I don't see Bijan going to second, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think Bijan Robinson goes in the first round, right? I think he's too good, and a team can sit there and look at him. I would just look at the profile and say, that guy's our running back one. He's our bell cow. We're going to run him into the dirt for the next 5 years, and everything will be okay. Essentially, once you get outside of the top 10, that running back in the first round no longer becomes like a detriment to your team. It's now, the value's now fine, especially when you're that good of a player. So we're all good there. But I don't know if Gibbs will. I think if Bijan Robinson goes to 8 with the Falcons, like some people are starting to stir up the rumors, maybe there's a place for Gibbs in the back of the first round. But I think Gibbs will end up being an early second round pick, and some team will be really happy.
Dude, Jahmyr Gibbs reminds me of Jamal Charles so much. There's something about him. I love it.
I get it.
It makes me happy. Like, I actually did a mock draft just goofing around. I traded up in the second and took Jahmyr Gibbs when he fell to like 50. So I think Chiefs Kingdom would probably pass out because they have a Clyde Edwards-Helaire like PTSD.
Yes, for sure.
But, I think Jahmyr Gibbs could come in and take that McKinnon role pretty easily. And that's cheaper than McKinnon, and he's got a lot less injuries, and he's not 31. So,
yeah,
whatever. Your dad says he's still here, but he won't bring up any stories on you.
Okay, good. Because he knows I'm about to see him here in a couple days, and that's when we have a problem, right? Like,
that's awesome.
Wait till I'm not about to see him here in a few days.
Okay, Hey Man says Adebawore is going to be a Chief. What do you think about Adebawore? A lot of people are saying he could possibly get into the top probably 25, 30 picks, maybe even higher. I think Mel Kiper's got him in his top 20 right now. It's insane.
Yeah, his skyrocket since the combine. Really, I guess it started at the Senior Bowl when they kicked him inside for the first time at D tackle. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, whoa, he can really play here and excel as a pass rusher and be a dynamic player, right? And then it went into the combine where he put up one of the better performances of the year, if not, of all time. And so I get it. But every time I want to start to buy in on this first round hype, I go back to the film and I'm looking at him like, I love the player. I like the player. I want him on my football team. But how do I get the value of my first round pick here? I struggle to see the pathway to get there, just given the size, the tweener size, right? He's thick, long armed guy, but he's a little bit of a tweener. I just don't know if you get the best bang for your buck in the first round. I'm interested to see if he tested himself up into the top 50 or if he's going to be a midday 2 guy like everybody kind of thought going into the Senior Bowl.
I feel like he's a midday 2 guy, honestly. But I think it's the crazy athleticism that just kind of skyrocketed him right now because, he is a freak athlete. But that's all there is to it. We got a guest with us here in the house.
No way.
Check it out. Yeah, we do, and he's coming on right now.
Darian Kinnard is here. What is up, dude?
What's going on, my man?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
My mom came rushing in upstairs. She was like, "You need to get on Chiefed Up." I'm like,
dude, that's sick.
On the phone with my grandma.
Heck yeah.
So,
That's awesome. I'm glad you showed up, man. Yeah, we were talking about you earlier. We're from Kentucky, so we've been watching you through college and everything. We're UK guys, so yeah, you've been our guy. I actually, I think it was the day before they picked you last year. I was like, we got to get Kinnard in this next round, bro, and we did. So. Yeah, she probably just heard us talking about you and everything. So how you been, man? How's the off season treating you?
It was good. I just got back from Dallas yesterday. So drove that. It's a little flat drive, just with my thoughts. But yeah, I was out in Dallas just doing some training. Came back for OTAs.
That's sick. Hey,
nice.
Man, Matt Lane's here from KC Sports Network. What's up, Matt? Talk to Darian. You got a question for Darian?
Oh no, man! I don't have a question. I'm just I'm glad you're on here hanging out with the guys. I know they're big Kentucky guys, so how you coming on here, I'm sure is big for them. It's like I don't need to still need the spotlight here from you guys. Like you guys all need the chat. I'm sure he's one of your favorite players now, being for the Chiefs and playing down there in Kentucky.
Dude, we just like Chiefs. Nice Chiefs chat here. But yeah, you are a Kentucky guy. We've been following you forever, all the way back when you were playing in Ohio, man, in high school. Like.
Man.
It's pretty sick. Everybody in our chat wants to know, are you a right tackle or are you a guard? Are they moving you to guard or are you the right tackle? Come on. Be our right tackle, my man.
Man, honestly, for me, I see myself more as a tackle. But at the end of the day, man, I just want to get out there and play. So whatever position is needed. Last year I was at tackle on both sides. And then Trey, our guard, went down for that week, and then Joe. So it's like they needed a guy who could play guard. So I just did a lot of rotating guards and tackles on both sides. So I think after week 5, I started just kind of practicing at all 4 positions, just in case.
That's awesome, man. Go ahead.
So as a player. We've been talking about the draft, man. That's what we've been talking about today. As a player, how much do you get into the draft? Like, do you really dig in at all, or is it just kind of a wait and see what happens kind of thing to you?
Me personally, I just kind of wait and see. Really, at the end of the day, I got to play ball right now. I got to focus on that. So, kind of sidetracking and seeing who's going to get drafted isn't really that big of a focus. At the end of the day, it's going to be when the players are there and the guys we have in the building, that's going to be the guys we rock with, and those are the guys we're going to strive to win another Super Bowl with.
I hear you, man.
Right.
If a lot of talk about taking a tackle in the first round. If they do that, man, don't be requesting no trade or nothing.
Nah.
Like, we ain't having that. But Darnell Wright's a name that keeps coming up. He's out of Tennessee. I know the UK Tennessee, man. We got a lot of bad blood. You guys going to be pals, or are you just going to kind of give him the coach shoulder, make him carry those shoulder pads?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I roomed with Trey when we were out in Dallas, so,
Right. I was going to say.
Trey, I mean, I might be cool with him, too.
That's cool. Chris Wright says, "Holy Kinnard, what is up?" Oh, he asked the same question, tackle or guard. He is a tackle, Chris. He is a tackle. He's already said it. That's awesome.
Gonna be
man.
the right tackle. Just give it time. Give it time.
Give it time. Yeah, we actually projected you to win the right tackle job this year, and we were so bummed when preseason kept coming around. We were like, "Why is Kinnard not on the field?" We were burning stuff down, man. You know the whole couch burning in Kentucky?
Oh, yeah.
That was us.
Okay.
We started that.
Hey, man, it just takes.
Right.
I mean, it's a huge step up from just going, from college, playing against some of the best, and then going to NFL where everybody is the best. So it's a big step up. It's a steep learning curve. So this year, prepping and hopefully the test comes around, I'm prepared.
Sweet. I got a question for you. You played with Will Levis. And people are talking about Will going in the top 10.
Yep.
You're not going to say nothing bad about Will Levis because he was a warrior on the field. I know he was. Dude, how cool is it that, just Will Levis coming in and being that dude? What do you think about Will? Like, do you think he's worthy? A lot of people are saying he's a bust. What do you think about Will Levis? I think Will Levis is probably going to be pretty good in this league.
I think he'll be a great player. Like I said, it's just a steep learning curve. I mean, I think he's smart enough, and he's definitely has the tools, the build, the size, the arm. He has all of it. It's just that learning curve. But other than that, I think he'll be successful. Whatever team he ends up on, he'll take control. He'll come in, be a leader, and do his thing.
Right. Matt, where do you have Will Levis on your big board with quarterbacks? Is he like 2 or 3 for you probably?
So you're not gonna get an ex-teammate on here and then make me say stuff.
No, you don't.
He's our quarterback 4 for the Kcsn draft guide. But I gotta be very clear here. I have a first round grade on him. I'm the only person out of us that work here had a first round grade on him. Everybody else is a little lower, so he's our quarterback 4. But we still got him up there, pretty high up there. And like I said, myself, I have him as a first round grade. So
Matt,
he's too out of me.
I swear, buddy, I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus. I was going to say the same thing. I got Will Levis as QB4. I actually got him past Richardson from Florida, and that's only off pure athleticism and the way the game's starting to go at the quarterback position. So I hated doing that. Believe me, being an SEC guy, I didn't want to do it.
A lot of people have the Raiders taking Will Levis. What are you going to do if your ex-teammate is a freaking Raider, bro?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I mean, at the end of the day, just play legitimately, hoping for each other's success. But it's a game, so we're gonna go out there, battle it out. Best team wins, but at the end of the day, we'll say what's up to each other after the game.
For sure.
That's awesome,
man. So one funny memory, real quick. So you when you were playing for Kentucky, you had your hair dyed blue.
Yes.
And let's see, you got drafted by the Chiefs and you immediately dyed your hair red. Were you still in Lexington with that bright red hair?
Yeah.
And what kind of looks did you get?
Confusion. Some people who didn't know me, they probably thought I played for Louisville. But, other than that, though, after I explained to them, they were pretty ecstatic.
Yeah, for sure. So you're a Super Bowl champion, bro. How awesome is that? Like, would you have ever thought, a few years back, this early in your career, you could say that?
No, not this early. Or not this early. But, it's exciting. And, we're plenty more to come, put it that way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure. Man.
Can I shoot you a question real quick?
Go for it, Matt. Go for it, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I love all kind of nerdy football stuff here, right? So I just want to ask you, Darren, you're coming into the NFL. What was one of the biggest things that sticks out with you just in terms of learning, not anything specific, but working with Andy Heck and just kind of how he teaches it? What was one of the biggest steps that you kind of had to get through going from college to the pros, man?
Biggest step is adapting to the stress. you know, that you put on yourself, that you expect, the things that are expected of you in the building, not even on the football field. So, but that's not saying, you know, Coach Heck put a lot of stress on us. I mean, he's one of the best in the business. He's played it and been coaching for altogether 32 years. Like, he's one of the best, if not, in my opinion, the best O-line coach. So he's a great guy. He coaches his ass off, excuse my language, but he's a damn good coach, and he deserves respect for sure.
Yeah. Well,
you know.
Darian just got us demonetized, so thanks for that, buddy. I appreciate it.
No,
I'm joking.
Mike says worse than that like every few minutes.
No, we're joking. We got a question from Scott. He says, Darian, what's your favorite barbecue spot in KC, man?
I mean, might get burned at the stake for this, but I feel, to me personally, I feel like Kansas City's, you know, barbecue might be a little overhyped.
Oh no.
No.
But there are some really good spots. I will say there are some good spots, but they made it, when I was coming out here, they made it sound like everywhere had great barbecue, you know, and it's just specific places, certain places does have really good barbecue.
Where are you at right now? Are you in Kentucky right now? Are you in Ohio?
No, right now I'm back in Kansas City. So
gotcha.
Starting up and just came back to, you know, get settled. Well,
dude, the next time you're back in Kentucky, hit us up. We'll go eat barbecue. You know, Jason Dunn, he used to play tight end for the Chiefs. His family has a barbecue spot near Lexington. We're supposed to go eat with him, so you can join us. Matt, you're invited too if you can get here.
I'm not that far away.
Okay, come on down, buddy. We'll just have a barbecue time.
Where are you at, Matt? You're not in KC, so where are you at?
I live in North Carolina, so it's still quite a bit. It's still a drive, but not as far as some other places. I'm not too far away.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
We got a friend near Asheville. He builds homes out there, so pretty cool spot, I heard. Darian, who was the toughest guy you had to go up against on the defensive line when you played at Kentucky, man? Who was it in the SEC? Is he in the league right now, or?
Yeah, most definitely. There's a lot of good guys. I mean, of course, like my freshman year, Josh Allen was still at Kentucky, but he was on the team. So, you know, I had two guys, I think, that on my team that stood out the most to me, just in terms of being freak athletes. You know, Josh Paschal, he's with Detroit right now, and then Josh Allen were definitely some of the best guys, like bar none, in the SEC to me, anyways. Just playing against them every day at practicing against them. Great guys, freak athletes, strong, quick, you know, has all the talent there.
Awesome, man. I don't know how long you want to stay on here. If you want to go, just click off the phone anytime you want to go, man. Otherwise, we're going to talk your ear off.
So. All good. I was just stopping in, you know, I didn't want to be a troll, so I had to stop in.
No, man, you're good.
Yeah, we weren't sure, so it's awesome that you showed up, though. I wasn't expecting it because I guess Mike was checking the email. I just saw you pop up at the bottom. I was like, oh, okay.
I can't be a troll. I don't want to make these people think I'm a liar. So I was. I'm gonna let y'all get back to the podcast. I'm gonna get back on Call of Duty. So,
oh man,
all right, my man. We appreciate you, man. This is awesome.
Real, thank you.
Hey, before you go,
do
you like Call of Duty 2 or is it trash?
The Modern Warfare?
Every game's got bugs to fix. You know, I mean, I think they could do a little better in certain areas. But,
yeah, I hear you. I stopped playing, man. I don't even play no more. I can't do it.
It's enjoyable, fun, nice play on downtime, hang out with some boys from back home. So
awesome, man. Okay, brother, we'll let you get out of here. Anytime you want to come back on, just shoot me an email.
Absolutely, thank y'all.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks for doing it, man. Matt, sorry to interrupt you, dude. This was your night, and Darian stole your thunder. I'm so sorry.
Right, you guys invite me on, and then you come in. You're like, "Oh, hey, by the way, just kind of hang out here. We're gonna talk to Darian Kinnard. We got Travis Kelce coming up later, apparently."
Dude, I'm sorry. Like, we stole Matt's thunder. Matt, the time's yours, buddy. Just talk about whatever you want for 10 minutes. I'm gonna go take a bathroom break.
Oh, whatever. No, that was cool. That was cool. I wasn't expecting that. Honestly, thought it probably was a troll in the chat, to be honest. But you know,
I did too. Straight
that's
up.
very cool of him. So, well, speaking of random players that you talked to, did you do a interview with Zay Flowers the other day? Was that you?
Yeah, well, yes. So we went down to the Shrine Bowl down in Las Vegas. We've gone down there the last 2 years, and Eric Galco, who runs it, we've known him for a while. He has us set up. He hooks us up well, so we get to sit down and interview a bunch of guys that we get to go through. And since Zay Flowers was down there, yeah, we got to sit down with him, do like a 15-minute interview and cut it up. So we have that on our YouTube channel. We actually have a lot of players that were down there at the Shrine Bowl. It's out there, but Zay Flowers one's obvious and awesome one. Great guy to talk to. Like, he clearly, football's a job to him. Everything about football to him is so very specific. We had him walk us through, a couple coverage stuff, a couple route things, and then just kind of had a lighthearted interview back and forth. But like, you can just tell, like, he's ready for the professional aspect of football, and like, not just on the field, but like off the field. He understands how important every step of the process is, every step of getting better, training and working out. So it's a lot of fun going down there.
That's awesome, man. Harry says, "Are you kidding? That was a cool thing for Matt to have Darian Kinnard just pop in."
Right, I'm not going to be mad.
Dude, it's not every day you get a Chiefs player just pop right into your life. Like, that's the craziest thing that's ever happened here. Matt, you witnessed it firsthand. I'm glad you were here to witness that.
I'm glad I am too.
That's pretty insane. Steve,
Well,
your lady's in the house.
Oh, what's up? I hope she's watching my 7 kids that are upstairs causing chaos right now.
She's not. She's on here making sure you're not doing nothing rude with Matt. Maybe she thinks Matt's a lady. Like, she's like, no. This girl named Maddie's coming on the show. And it's like, no, it's Matt from KC Sports Network, man. Quit.
Right. So
Maddie's a common nickname. So yeah, I get the confusion now.
That's actually my daughter's name, not with the T's, obviously, with a D. But, so that's funny. So back to the draft. Let's talk about the draft some more before you go, Matt.
Sure.
I don't know how long you got, but you were just talking about getting to talk to Zay Flowers and all that. Do you think that he's worthy of moving up in the draft? I know a lot of people was like, oh, if he's hanging out at 31, Chiefs could grab him for value. But do you think he's worth trading for?
That's right. It's going to go back to the same way I answered. This is my way of weaseling my way out of having to make a hard stance. It depends on how far up we're talking here, right? If we're talking just jumping, say, Buffalo, sure. Yeah, it's worth going up a couple spots, just spending, again, one of those third-round picks, or not third round, but day 3 picks to get up just a couple spots, make that pick where you need be to get him before the Buffalo Bills might take him. Not only because he makes the Chiefs better, but I would really not like to see Buffalo maybe get another wide receiver that makes them a lot better as well. If we're talking about moving up into the top, pick 20, in the top 20 where a lot of people think Zay Flowers might go, that's where I start to have a few more, I guess, reservations, right? The size outlier, short, light, short arms, great athlete, but didn't run the 4.2 whatever 40 that most guys his size that go in round 1 usually do. So the size concerns, moving up that far, that much draft capital, I start to hesitate a little bit more once you're talking about moving ahead of like the Giants at 5? Yeah, moving ahead of the Giants around there is where I get a little bit more hesitant.
Yeah, I see that, man. I don't think Brett Veach will go up really, really high. I think he will go up for a target if there's one there that he really likes. But I think it would be more like last year, like to 20 or 21, something like that. I'm with you. Don't think that anybody, unless they really want Broderick Jones or something like that, I don't think there's anybody else really worth jumping that high to get, in my opinion.
That's where I am. Yeah, when we kind of saw those 2 things kind of happen back-to-back day or the same day, right? Broderick Jones was brought in for his top 30 visit, and then of course you have to start wondering. Doesn't mean anything about it. He could very easily still go to the Bears at pick 9 or whatever, but just in case he falls, they have the work done. But then you have the Zay Flowers workout, that Broderick Jones top 30 visit in the same day, and like if you ask me to pick between the two of them, like no, I would trade up to top 20 to take Broderick Jones all day. He's been my offensive tackle 1 throughout this whole process. Love the upside, everything about him. That makes sense. The outlier in terms of the wide receiver size, I don't know if I'd go that far for him. So I'm kind of split in the middle there.
Yeah. I totally agree. Me and you, we differ on one player in this draft.
I was going to bring that up. Before Matt left, actually.
I know you were going to. I'm just going to jump the gun. You're not a big fan of Keon White. You said that
okay.
he out of a top 17 is what they've invited, and you think he'll be there in the 3rd round. Is that what you said?
Ooh, okay. So I don't think he will be. I think he should be.
Okay. So what is
Different.
it about Keon that you do not like? Like, what is it? Just his raw factor? Is it just like I think you compared him to Breland Speaks? That's a little harsh.
It was.
It's
That was.
harsh.
That's a spite. That was a spite comp because you got to do comps. We do a draft guide. We got to do comps throughout the whole thing, right? Because people like player comps. So like, none of them are going to be perfect. And I got to Keon White, and this was right around when Daniel Jeremiah was giving him like top 10 hype. And I watched it, and I was just like, no. And then I'm boom, Breland Speaks comp because it was out of spite. He's better than Breland Speaks, but I do think there's some similarities there, right? He's big, he's long, he's a very good athlete. He's strong. He's 24 years old, beating up on 20-year-olds. He doesn't do it with a lot of technique. It's just a lot of raw power. I don't see very much bend in his game. So like now I'm thinking, okay, I get this very good athlete, but he might be physically mature. He might be completely physically mature at this point in time. Not he can't get stronger, but he's mature. And the only way he was really beating guys, in my opinion, was just by being a better athlete than them or being a bigger man than them. And that's not always going to be the case in the NFL. So I have a few more hesitations, especially if we're talking in the first. When he gets to a second contract, he's 30 years old, 29 years old. Like the age factor plus the rawness gives me a lot of pause, I think, in his game for a guy that can be a useful player. It's just, I don't know about 31.
Do you feel that he is maybe prototypical Spags and that you're a little scared that we may take him at 31?
He's very much a prototype of Steve Spagnuolo. There's a lot of guys in this class that are, so like we got that going for us. There's a lot of day 2 guys that are very Steve Spagnolian, but he is also perfect for one of those. The 2 saving grace things that we have are the age. He would be by far the oldest first round player Brett Veach has ever drafted. I think everybody else has been 21 or 22 when he's drafted him in the first round. Even his first pick in every draft has been no older than 22, right? So he would be an outlier in that regard. I don't think the Chiefs are heavily interested in him, but like I get why they would be. And sorry, I take that back. I don't think the Chiefs are heavily interested in him at 31. I think that they would be waiting till day 2 at some point in time to take him, and it doesn't sound like he's making it out of the top 40.
So okay. Well, the reason I thought that maybe somebody's looking to take him is because they said they didn't invite Quentin Johnston because they didn't want an Aaron Rodgers thing, but yet they're talking to NFL teams and they invited him. So that leads me to believe that somebody in that top 20 might be seriously thinking about pulling the trigger on this guy. Like, who do you think it is?
Green Bay Packers. He's a Green Bay Packer defensive end through and through. I think if they got the opportunity to trade back and pick up more picks and pick later on in the first round and not at pick 15, or if they get that Jets pick and maybe want to trade up into the first round again after picking at 15, I think they're a team that would definitely be heavily interested. I also did hear this. I heard he really, really wanted to go to the draft. So maybe they had a couple guys that were on that fence of we don't know if they're going to drop or not. And he just did a good job of convincing that he really wanted to go to the actual draft. So I'm not saying that he won't go. Like I said, I think he goes the top 40. I just don't know how early that's going to end up being.
Maybe Broderick Jones falls to 15. We make a trade with Green Bay, come up and get our guy, and they come back and get Keon White. There you go.
Let's do it. Perfect. We figured it out for him. Let's get Gutekunst on the phone.
Right. Chris Wright with the 5. Appreciate you, Chris. He says, Matt, we stick at 31. If we do not trade, who are we taking?
Okay. This is tough. If we're at 31, I've done a million scenarios in my head, and I kind of come down to the same like 5-ish guys that are going most likely to be available if you stick at 31. I'm settling for right now at today. Ask me tomorrow, it might change, but today, Quentin Johnston, wide receiver out of TCU, I think if they stick at 31. I don't think one of those top 5 tackles will still be available. I don't think one of the top 5 defensive ends or the edges will be available. I think your hope is that Quentin Johnston or whoever the 4th of the top 4 wide receivers is going to still be available. I have a good feeling right now that Johnston is not going to go before that, but I don't know.
Okay. I like it.
I don't think Chiefs Kingdom would be mad at that at all.
I don't think so. I think everyone's a fan of the size. Like, we have all these small receivers in KC and we have for years. So everybody really likes the size. Some people don't like the catching. I get it. But I think the size aspect makes a lot of Chiefs fans pretty happy.
Right. The only knock I really have on Quentin Johnston is that his quarterback in college didn't help him very much. And so his stats look a little suppressed. And to be honest, if I had to pick a really bad thing with him, I think he doesn't play very physical. I think honestly, like Zay Flowers plays more physical than he does. It's pretty crazy. So are you saying that you would be fine if the Chiefs said at 31, if Quentin Johnston's off the board and none of the defensive ends are there, would you be fine with Jordan Addison?
Oh man, see, I was taking this as Jordan Addison's off the board. I would love Jordan Addison at 31.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said that was his number one earlier, right?
Yeah, he's my top wide receiver. Quentin Johnston was my top wide receiver for a long time because of the upside. And I agree with what you said. He doesn't play physically. He's a 6'3" wide receiver that plays like a 6 foot wide receiver, right? And that's fine. You just have to get past how he looks, I think, to get there. I have some questions about Quentin Johnston, but the upside is so tantalizing. He was number one for a while. The more I watch, though, it's just the reliability, the consistency, and the way Jordan Addison can do it versus man and zone today in the NFL, in my opinion, put him to one. So, yeah, I would love Jordan Addison there. I think he'll be gone if the Chiefs stay at 31.
Cool. So do you like Jackson Smith and Jigba? Like, for the Chiefs, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think he can. He's definitely a slot guy. I kind of see a Monroe St. Brown a little bit in the slot. I don't think he necessarily can get on the outside and win one-on-one. I just don't see that with him. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. This is one of my big takes that gets me in a lot of trouble. I think he's a good player. And if you are a team that has a dominant outside wide receiver, or maybe two really good outside wide receivers, and you want to draft Jackson Smith and Jigba to round out your team and to essentially be your Travis Kelce type player, absolutely fire away in the first round. If you're the Seattle Seahawks sitting there at pick 20 and you want to pair him with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf because you think that's what you need, have at it. But when you're the Chiefs and you have, your MVS doing his MVS thing, but everybody else is kind of this slot / outside player, kind of all works in the same area of the field. I don't know if adding JS into that group elevates the entire team. Is he better than all those guys? Probably, maybe. More reliable for sure. Like, he's proven he's a little bit more consistent, I think, but I just don't know if he elevates everything else just based on how he would fit. And I'm with you. I don't know if he could. I don't get too caught up in athleticism, but when you have a 1.65, 10-yard split, and I can see you get caught by linebackers numerous times when I watch your great, amazing, like 1,800-yard receiving year, but you get caught by linebackers from behind, like that gives me a pause for concern to say you can win on the outside.
I hear that. I've seen that as well. That's kind of my take. Like, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one. Stephen James, thanks for the 5, man. We appreciate it. He says it's a Super Saturday Night Special. Darian Kinnard.
The conundrum. I like it.
Good stuff.
Matt, do you have any? We like to talk about my guys in the 2023 draft. Last year we had a couple of my guys. We actually loved Pacheco last year, and we took him. Like, we about fell over that one. Who are some my guys for you? And you can pick early guys, or you can go talk sleeper if you want. We don't really get to talk much about sleeper picks, so go ahead and give us a few of your my guys. I'm kind of curious.
All right, so I'm gonna spend a little bit of time here actually because we do my guys in the Kcsn draft guide, and it's all there. And I know earlier you guys were talking about how you had really liked last year's draft and all this stuff kind of went really well. So same thing last year for us. We loved the way the Chiefs draft went. We liked almost all of the picks. We were doing our live show during it. We weren't necessarily, I'm not gonna say we were calling them out, but like we mentioned almost all of the picks essentially besides Brian Cook and Nazeeh Johnson, like, were guys that just didn't come up leading up to it. But almost every other pick leading up to it, it was a guy like, hey, well, this would be a great pick here. And they took like all these guys that we had mentioned. And so last year in the draft guide, I had my guys on Sky Moore, Joshua Williams, and I had Jalen Watson. That wasn't a my guy, but I had a 3rd round grade on him. And the Chiefs ended up obviously taking him late in day 3. So like, I kind of had 3 guys that pseudo were my guys last year that the Chiefs ended up drafting, which was awesome. Right. So this year, guys that I'm pretty big on that I think some other people don't love as much. Nick Saldiveri, offensive lineman out of Old Dominion. Talk about him every chance I possibly get. I think he's played his way into day 2, but I love him. I love the versatility. I think he'll play right tackle in the NFL, but if you want to kick him inside and just have him be a stud interior kind of offensive lineman, completely okay with me. And then the other guy that I think gets a little a little flying under the radar. Whew. Tucker Kraft, tight end out of South Dakota State. I think for me, he's right there on the heels of those top 4 tight ends. Everybody has the 4 tight ends at the top. Some people even put Sam Laporte in there. I have Tucker Kraft over him. I think he's right there behind him. Like, if you don't get Michael Mayer, Tucker Kraft's a bigger version of essentially the same guy, just with less polish. So, like, those are 2 guys that I think are day 2-ish that don't get talked about near enough.
You were talking about tight ends. What do you think about Zach Kuntz? A lot of people are really high on him. We had a guy on that does draft year round, Broshmo. He's super high on Kuntz. He actually took him for the Chiefs in a mock in like what, the 3rd or 4th round?
Yep, round 3.
Round 3.
He's not my favorite tight end because when I watched him at Old Dominion, the athleticism didn't show up the same way it did at the combine, right? I'm not saying he's a bad athlete on film. I'm watching him and, Old Dominion isn't playing in the SEC, right? They're not playing these top end athletes, but I didn't see a guy that just played like an elite athlete at the position. So not that gives you a pause or anything, but I just wonder how much of his raw athleticism translates onto the field. And then given his size, just like his height and like how lean he is, there were some issues with leverage and blocking. And like, I have no qualms taking him in the middle of the draft as a developmental tight end. I just think you're definitely fighting this kind of, is he just going to end up being a red zone only threat for a long time? Or is he going to be able to develop into a like real starting tight end? And so I'm not against it. It's just, I definitely think I'm a little lower on him than some people buying into that combine.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a question for you. Brett Veach at his presser the other day, he kind of mentioned that there was a lot of late round value on corner again. Brett Veach, he went corner crazy last year. Do you see us taking more corners this year? If so, how many? And when do you think the first one could come off the board? I don't think it would probably be before round 3. I wouldn't think.
Here's what I know about the Chiefs, Brett Veach. They very much settle into their, I don't want to say purely best player available, but they set their tiers and they're going to follow it. If they're sitting there at 31 and in this really good cornerback class, one of those upper tier corners are still left and they're looking at top tier guys and bottom or like 2-tier guys or 2nd-tier guys, I think they'll take a corner. I think they would take a corner in round 1 if that's what they saw the best value. Do I expect them to? Probably not, but I'm not ruling it out. And it's like, yeah, I think you're going to get at least one corner drafted. It's just, I don't know where it's going to be in this whole draft. But yeah, I'm not ready to shut the door in even round 1 at this point in time. Like, I think if there is an aggressive, feisty, physical corner, like a Joey Porter Jr. falls for whatever reason. I really like Cam Smith. I actually love his versatility to play inside and outside and in man and zone. I don't know if the Chiefs like either of these guys, but if they were there, I don't know if I could completely rule it out.
Right. Do you like Tyreek Stevenson out of Miami? I actually got him in the 2nd round, and a lot of people think I'm crazy for that.
I like him more than I did initially, right? Like once he was battling through some injuries. If I remember correctly, this past year at Miami, I don't know if it was a concussion or what. I think it was actually an ankle or foot injury. He left for a little while and he tried to come back and like he was playing a little injured up and down. So as I dug back a little bit farther back into another year, even watched some of his Georgia stuff, I get it. I get why a lot of people like him. Athletic, big, physical, no issues with him. My question is if he comes to the Chiefs and they want to play cover 2 and then they want to play quarters and then they want to play cover 0, is he going to be able to do all those coverages well? Can he unlock his hips and run across the field? Can he midpoint, smash concept while playing in a shallow zone? Like, can he do everything, or is he going to be best just going to a cover 3 team that's going to let him be physical and just kind of run the vertical plane?
Yeah, he's very physical. I see that as his number 1 asset. He does have a little bit of a return capability, which I really didn't expect it. Like when I watch him on film, I don't see a lot of the shiftiness, but I don't know. That's weird. To me, putting corners at returners is odd. Like when they asked Trent McDuffie to do it last year, I was like, why are we doing this? This makes no sense.
I think
what?
I want to weigh in on the corner thing. Go
ahead.
I don't think we'll see one early unless, like Matt said, there's somebody just obvious at the top. But Khalif Hallisey from Western Kentucky University, they've actually met with him, and I could definitely see the Chiefs taking him later in the draft for sure.
Yeah, they like to have guys that come in and do these top 30 visits, or they meet at the combine and they'll try to snag them later on in the draft. I mean, it's no guarantee way to find out what they like, right? But like that name is just at least worth filing away when you get to day 3. You assume once you get out of the top 150 picks and most teams are starting to work on, okay, this guy we think is a priority free agent. this guy we think a lot of teams like as a priority free agent. Maybe we just draft him instead of trying to get in that negotiating battle or something. So yeah, definitely a name to file away.
Right. Another name there, Jarek Reed out of New Mexico. We met with him as well. I could see that being the 7th round guy. If somebody don't fall in love with him, take him in the 6th. Chris Wright asked, Wanya Morris, offensive tackle from Oklahoma, 4th round. What do you think about Wanya Morris? I know we had Brian Tracy on from RGR. He was not a fan of Wanya Morris. He actually had McClendon out of Georgia, Broderick Jones' counterpart, rated a little higher than Wanya. What do you think?
I like Wanya Morris. I don't love him. I think there's some clear flaws in his game. When I watch him play, I thought, this guy isn't a great athlete, but he's very powerful. And then he goes and tests the combine and he moves really well. And then you keep watching like, okay, they're pulling this guy and he's getting way out in the formation. He's lining DBs up in the open field, unlocking his hips and adjusting his angle. Like, he's a really good athlete. He just doesn't play like it in his pass sets. And I'm trying to figure out why. And I think there's some, he feels uncomfortable working in reverse, so into his pass set. So I don't think he's got the best agility there, but he's long. He's got strong hands. His balance is off, but like he can do a lot of stuff. So like you want to take him in the middle rounds and let Andy Heck get his hands on him and figure out if he can fix him. I think there's a lot of actual raw talent there. The technique is just all over the place, and you got to figure that out, and you got to get him to play lower. He plays so tall. Round 4, that's where I would love him. This tackle class, I think you're taking him in round 3 if you're the Chiefs. I don't know if you can wait till 122 and expect him to be there. So I think you would probably have to look at day 3, especially because he's an ex 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Those guys hit a lot more often than any other stars. Like, it's just, those guys are usually really talented. It's just up to coaching to unlock them. The NFL cares about stuff like that. So yeah, I think you would probably have to go round 3, but I would love to get him in round 4.
Yep. Totally hear that. Rock Chalk. Thanks, man. Fun. He says fun show. Thanks a lot. Crosser says Brett's very good at picking out late round corner talent. Yeah, we've seen that firsthand last year. Chiefs fan Patrick Peterson was one of the best kick returns of all time, and he's a corner. That's true. What was Devin Hester listed at? Devin Hester was a wide receiver, right? That's what they listed him as.
Yeah.
Or did he
I think
corner?
No, he did both. I think he
he
started
did
at one
both.
and then went to the other side. I think he might have been a corner at first.
Right.
The reason I think corners are pretty good returners when it works out, right? Like, the reason you can find really good ones is I think they have less desire to dance and just try to make everybody miss, and a lot more intent on getting north and south. This is just like a random belief. I have no reason to actually think this. It's just my thought process is they're a little bit more decisive. They see an angle they want and they cut it, and then they go. Whereas I think a lot of wide receivers get stuck thinking they have to make everyone miss, and then that allows the other 10 guys to cut angles and close down the space. So it's just, that would be my gut feel on why some corners can really pull it off.
Yeah, I think, I feel like their ball skills just aren't as good. If you're a good ball skills at a corner, you're going to play wide receiver. That's the way I see it. I feel like they're all wide receivers that couldn't catch the ball properly, and then they threw them to the defensive side. Scott says, I like K-State corner, but I don't think he'll be there at 63. I'm assuming you're talking about Julius Brents. He's a big guy. I kind of like Julius Brents. I think he's round 2, early round 3, in my opinion. What do you think, Matt?
That's where I think he should go. I think he's going to go higher. Another person that, another guy I work with, Craig Stout, works with me at Kcsn, helps our draft guide. He does some athletic testing, number running with cornerbacks, and essentially it comes down to their interiors. If you're tier 1, you're pretty good, and the NFL thinks you're really good. And there's only 5 guys this year in that tier, which is actually a lot. Julius Brents is one of them, just because the length, the explosion, the athleticism, he fits there. Those guys usually excel at the NFL. I think I've heard the stat that got corners with his wingspan have like 90% of the time, at some point in time in their career, they end up being leading the league in pass breakups plus interceptions, like just ball production. So just, he has a lot of like metrics that go onto his side. I don't think his tape's that great, but when you're that big, that fast, and you have every like advanced analytical metric about your physical profile saying he's going to be good, it's going to be hard for the NFL. It's going to be hard for a GM to sit there and say, well, this stuff's all wrong, right? So I think he probably goes early.
So you're saying that he's going to get drafted by Seattle to be opposite of Tyreek Woolen?
They should. I mean, right?
Yeah,
they should.
that'd be good.
They kind of,
isn't that the guy right there?
Yeah, they kind of changed their scheme up a little bit last year, but I don't think Brents is like limited. So yeah, I mean, he would make a ton of sense for them, and he's very Tariq Woolen-ish. I think I think I like Woolen's feel for the corner position better, but the competition level last year just was what kept him down. I think Julius Brents is going to get a big boost from playing in a very fun Big 12 this year on a good K-State team and he played Quentin Johnson twice. Now, it wasn't always great for him, but he did it. Like, that level of competition is there. So, like, I think he's going to end up, he might push the top 50.
Hey, man, I'd like to see it. I like when the K-State guys. We're not K-State guys, but, I mean, they're linked to Kansas City, so I'm like, it's hard to cheer against K-State. I will cheer against Kansas, though. I'm sorry.
In basketball, for sure.
And sometimes Missouri.
Oh, yeah, dude. Get Kansas out of here. We don't need, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm going to get in trouble from, there's a lot of Kansas Chiefs fans. Don't hate me, guys.
And now that Mizzou went to the SEC, man, I mean, that's a sore subject, too.
Oh, man, and it's just crazy that K-State runs the entire state in basketball, baseball, and football now. It's just wild.
It's just one of those, like, this
short-lived, I'm sure, but
yeah, I hear you. Okay, well, we're going to take a couple more, and then we're going to probably close this out for tonight. We appreciate you guys being here. If anybody's got any last-second questions, get them in. I know Steve's got some stuff to do, so he's got to jump off here pretty soon. So, Matt, we appreciate you being here too, man. You stuck it out a little while.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We'll take a few more if anybody's got anything, and then we'll jump off here.
We'll let you get out of here, man.
Crazy that Kinnard showed up. What is happening today?
That's wild. That's a lot of fun, though.
Dude, what?
That's the beauty of doing live streams.
He took a break from Call of Duty for you guys. He took a break from Call of Duty to come on here, too. Like, that's what we're talking about.
That's love, dude. You know who wouldn't do that? That little quarterback from Arizona wouldn't do that.
Kyler Murray. He's too addicted to he's too addicted to Warzone. He ain't coming off of it. Julia says, I still watch the Kcsn AFC Championship live stream, the emotions. I didn't get to catch that, so I don't know what she's talking about.
Man.
Joel, how'd that go, Matt?
So we were in Las Vegas for the Shrine Bowl, right? And then the year before we did the same thing, and we had got like set up at a bar and had our live, not a live show, but we were all watching at the bar with a couple people from Vegas that were out there. And the Chiefs lost, obviously, 2 years ago to the Bengals, and we had to do a show afterwards. And it's just so sad and disappointing, and that kind of like scarred, I guess, the whole trip. So this year, everyone's kind of worried the same thing's going to happen. And now we're playing the Bengals again, and everything is going just like, you can just foresee how bad this could be again. And this year we're set up in the Blue Wire studio. So we're in this big studio. We're live for the whole game. It's so much fun. Like, I know the confidence is through the roof for some of us. Some of us are a little bit low. I'm like, yeah, there was emotions, good, bad, and everything throughout the whole thing. And we were actively live, just watching the game while streaming it the whole time in Las Vegas, kind of reliving the same thing as the year before. The Blue Wire studio is actually in the hotel there, at the Aria, whatever one it's called. And the glass, you can see out into the hotel. So people are walking by and waving and saying hi, Chiefs fans, Bengals fans, all sorts of people. And it was a crazy setup, man.
That's awesome, dude.
What is this? Kip Carn says, I thought Travis Kelce is coming. He actually texted. He's dancing somewhere right now. He's having a good time. He ain't coming.
Doing something very, very important.
Kelce.
Oh no.
We actually talked to Haley Lewis, and we asked her about. You remember when Travis Kelce, Matt, had the Catching Kelce TV show? Where he was trying to find a girl. We asked Haley why she didn't go on the show, and she was like, "I would never." So, yeah.
Players are off limits
on that show now. Yeah, he never went on. So
I bet. Chief Kelce, your dad says trivia question to Mike and Steve. Where did Wayne Chrebet go to college? Guessing Matt knows. Matt, do you know?
Wayne Chrebet.
I do know. So there's like one of mine and my dad's, like, I guess not superpowers, but like rare traits is just naming random college players in the NFL and where they went to college. And I assume I got it from him. It's all growing up. It's stuff like this, see a guy on TV make a catch. Do you know where he went to college? And I, as a 10-year-old, I have no idea, but he knows. Right. And so I've picked up on the trait and carried it on. Wayne Chrebet was one of his favorite ones to use, though. So
this was he was the receiver for the Jets, correct? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a small school. I remember it was a very small school.
Yes.
I have no idea.
Was it?
I'm tempted to Google it right now, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to cheat.
Was it the Colonial Conference or something like that? I'm going to say College of Charleston.
Man, I don't.
Was it College of Charleston?
I don't know. I don't know conferences, but it's Hofstra.
Hofstra.
I would have never thought of that.
No, like it's just one of those things. But now you're like, and now if you're me, you'll never forget that because I
Right.
mean, for me growing up, I got hit with that over the head 13 times a year, and you'd think by like the 12th time maybe it would get old, but no, he's still hitting me with it when Trebek goes to college.
That's awesome, though, dude. Our dad does that stuff with Chiefs trivia sometimes. We'll just be like, you know, who is this player, that player, you know. So we feel that it's always fun.
Yeah, Jack says, good second Saturday show. Thanks. We appreciate you guys. Everybody wanted us to do Saturdays, Matt. This is a thing. They're like, do Saturday Night Live. So we were like, okay, cool, we'll do it. We're going to go do these skits, even though we did have Darian on for a skit, I guess. That wasn't really him.
Props
that
to
was
you guys.
a look-alike. Plane Route
Props
says,
to you guys for doing that. Saturday's it's a hard thing to like commit to, right? Like doing it once like this, absolutely cool.
Right.
But like, I mean, that's awesome of you guys. I know people want these shows, and it's really easy to do them, you know, Monday through Friday nights,
right?
And even maybe record something for a weekend, but to be live on a weekend and just be consistent with it, like that's big.
I hear you. This is only week 2, so let's not talk too soon, man.
It's gonna be tough for sure, but I think it's doable.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Steve just has a lot of kids, so
I do. Yeah. So every other weekend I have all of them here, and like right now we got a house full, so it'll be tough, but I'm going to be a trooper. It'll be all right.
For sure. Scott says, I'm glad ACU is cool enough to know Darian Kinnard's grandma. Hey, man, don't say I don't know nobody. I know Darian Kinnard's grandma. And that
got a story. You got a full-on story now. You're good.
Dude, straight up. I don't even know. Yeah, dude, I think that's going to wrap it up for the night, though, Matt. We're going to let you go. We're probably going to jump off here, too, because like you said, it's Saturday night. I'm sure I got some Netflix to watch or something. There's something going. But anything else you want to ask him, Steve, before he heads out?
No, man. Just if you want to say what you got going on or want to plug anything, go for it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So here for Kcsn, we'll be down. Actually, we'll do a live stream for all days of the draft, you know, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So if you guys are doing the same thing, you can just cut my mic off real quick or something like that.
No, you're good. Go ahead, man.
We're going to be live streaming the entire.
I was joking.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm nervous for a second. Like, is this real? But like, okay, no, he doesn't look like he's mad at me. But yeah, on our YouTube channel at KC Sports Network, we'll live stream the entire draft. So every minute the draft is live, we will have people on there. We have guests. We'll have, you know, a lot of different voices, but we'll be live the entire time talking about the draft. It's not like ESPN. We don't have to talk 5 hours about the 4 quarterbacks going. We can talk about what everything means for the Chiefs the whole time. It's a lot of fun. If you're in Kansas City and don't want to go to the draft, we'll be at the Pizza Bar down on Power and Light Thursday night, and then at no other pub Friday and Saturday. So if anybody wants to come just hang out live with us, we'll be there too. So that's what we got going on here for KCS, and that's all it's really on my mind right now is getting my voice ready to talk for like 14 hours straight over a 3-day period.
Oof.
Dude, that's
gonna be tough.
Yeah, the
Pizza Bar is awesome, by the way.
We hit that up one night. We went around KC. We got bored. We went around KC one night eating pizza from every place we could find, see what was the best. KC Bar was up there.
Okay, I haven't
Pizza
been there
Bar
yet.
was decent. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't been there because I moved away.
Yeah, I think they actually have like a bunch of like retro games in there and stuff as well. If I'm remembering right. So it was actually a cool little spot.
Nice. So yeah, I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited to see anybody that comes out and hangs out or just watches us on YouTube. I mean, we had a lot of fun last year with it. So yeah, if anyone wants to not watch ESPN or NFL Network, we got it covered from just the Chiefs angle.
Yeah, and we're not all Chiefed Up is not covering the first round of the draft at least. So we may go live on day 2 or day 3, I don't know. But we're not doing round 1. We're gonna watch it with our dad and just like do a tradition we always do, which is to be stupid and
eat a lot of grilled food
and try to call the pick and try not to cry when it's somebody we don't like Matt Bergeron. But yeah, dude, we appreciate you being on. Everybody liked the live stream. Everybody was excited. Matt, you're a great guest. We love to have you back after we pick, and we'll talk about who the Chiefs did pick, and we'll complain about it together if you'd like.
No, it's absolutely no. We can definitely do that, and so next time I come on, I guess we'll just go ahead and get. I guess Trey Smith is the next logical choice to come on while I'm here. You guys can figure that out. You guys make that happen, and we're all good, right?
Yeah, man.
We got you, man. We got you.
We'll get Trey Smith for you. Okay, man. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Everybody give Matt a thumbs up. Go subscribe to KC Sports Network. They do good stuff, man.
Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your show before you guys get out of here.
Hey, man. Have a good one, bro. Okay, so
All right.
Matt was a cool dude. Thanks
For
to
sure.
Matt's dad for telling us to reach out to him. Matt was awesome. Having a
Keith
good
Kelsey,
time.
is that his name? Yeah. Chris,
Yep.
thanks for the fly ball, man. Man, your support's crazy. We appreciate you
Yeah.
a ton. But Chiefs Kingdom loves Saturday nights, starving for streaming content. Hey, we're gonna do our best to do this Saturday night thing. If that's what you guys want, that's what we're here for. We're trying to give you guys some Chiefs content when you want it. And that's what all Chiefed Up's all about. So
Hey, Steve, are you reading what I'm reading?
no,
No way.
we got
It's
Hawaii covered,
Hawaii's on the list.
dude. That was one of the ones I didn't think we were gonna get. So
We got him. Hawaii's on the list. I don't even
it's
know where
all downhill from here. If we could just get Alaska in, I think the rest.
they didn't
will
even
come.
put Hawaii on the map. That's how. Oh, there it is at the bottom. Got
There
it.
it is. It's the bottom.
I see it. I see
You
it.
got it. You got it.
Dude, that's sick, dude. Yeah. Brian says A+. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Kip says great show. Brian says that was cold, Mike. What was cold, Brian? Come on now. Power and light, no other pub. That's going to be live, says Steven. Steven also says night, y'all. Dude, Scott, I
Hey.
did get it on the map, man. I appreciate you guys. Steve, I had fun tonight, man. We do got to stick with the Saturday nights. I like doing Saturday nights. Chief Kingdom, pretty awesome on Saturdays for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to shout out Stephen James real quick. He actually sent us some videos of all the construction going on down there for the draft in our email. They were pretty neat to see. So that was cool, Stephen. Thanks for that, and thanks for the Eagle Tears.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to get some kind of like food poisoning when I get that and drink it on Monday. Harry, before we go, says I prefer to be fishing on draft days and get the whole story all at once. You know, Harry, it's probably not a bad idea. We watch it and we stress out like we can actually control what the Chiefs do, and we can't. So we just sit there, we bite our nails off, and we eat a lot of. Usually we grill out or do something weird. So. Yeah, man, that's probably going to be it for
fun.
tonight, man. We're going to let Steve get off and attend to his 7 children. And
hey, you guys hit that like button on the way out, man. It was a fun show. So give a thumbs up there for Darian Kinnard and Maddie Lane, man. Cool show. A little unexpected, but fun nonetheless, man. So you never know what's going to happen here on All Chiefed Up. So
it was. I'm probably going to get Steve. I'll probably get Steve to edit just the Darian Kinnard part. We'll make a separate video. So if you guys missed all that or got here late, we'll throw up a separate video of Darian Kinnard either
for sure.
Probably Sunday or Monday, maybe. Well, tomorrow's Sunday, so maybe like Monday,
sure.
maybe even Tuesday. We'll do Darian Kinnard's part. But
yeah, for sure. And one more time, if you're new to the channel, that's the first time by. Welcome. We appreciate you. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do so. We're trying to get to 10,000 before the draft. Not going to happen.
It's not happening.
It's slowed up a lot in the off season here, but if you guys could help us, spread the word, get some friends, hit that sub button, whatever you can do to help, man. We appreciate it. And Chris Wright, check your email. I think Mike replied to you. And we'll get back to you on that as well. So we appreciate you guys. And until next time, man. We're out. Thank you.
We're out. Go Chiefs. We'll see you guys.